Get 'em, Jimmy, where Loshak at? The bottle's getting empty, I'm not cracking, we stacking. Chips, all of this, what I want, plus money winners, that's what I'm on. You can say I'm gone, I prefer elevated, pro sports radio. Time to get educated, who can produce, fade the juice, letting loose with so much abuse that the bookies wanna call it truth. They getting slaughtered, can't forget Jeff and Low Baggers in the chat. That's a lethal weapon, cause we need, pubbing. We be pubbing!
Whoa, that was a spookier remix. What's up, everyone? Welcome to Post Sports Radio. He's Jimmy the Bag. I'm Peter Loshak. We do this every Tuesday. Jimmy the Bag, we got an enormous card. You know, people like, you always tell your loved ones and people who are close to you, no, don't worry. After the March Madness, after the Sweet 16, everything slows down. That's not true. That's a lie. Well, maybe after in a few weeks when the NHL and NBA go into playoffs, it slows down. We got a massive card, Jimmy the Bag. How you doing, pal?
I'm doing great. It's great to see you, my man. Yeah, we have a massive card, 33 games across the North American betting landscape. We'll start with NHL. We'll get into MLB. Jose Bouquet will join us for MLB. You get to open up your account here on the show in MLB. Then we'll rock into NCAA basketball, NIT semis, and then we'll get into NBA. I've made 4 bets, 2 in NHL and 2 in MLB. A couple more I'm very interested in making, want to talk it out. Shout out, though, to our JPZ locking us down with that intro song, Money in the Bank. Pete, we're both dressed.
You know, Jimmy the Bag, I was wandering around the Bronx a few days ago, and I wrote a few bars myself. Maybe I'll send them to you just so you could like glance at them first, before I go public with them. But I think they're quite good.
I believe that, Pete. And you're looking very, very dapper in your jacket.
Thank you very much. I got this in San Antonio. I also got the shades in San Antonio. This is my Suckers, I'm a Square hat, revealing myself to be a square. But yeah, no, I think I look good. I know I look good. Feeling good. And I'll tell you what, you said you made a couple of bets on the NHL card. I didn't check to see what they are because you probably put them public, but one of them's Nashville, obviously, right, Jimmy the Bag? Obviously.
You know, Nashville, I got it plus 106 yesterday. Also, I'm doing a little thing with Bet Online just because the aftermath of our account, because we loaded them up for Pubapalooza, where I'm only putting my best bet in NHL in that account each day. And I may have. There's another play. The other play I love.
But that was it. So you're confirming, right?
Oh yes. Nashville.
Obviously, of course.
Yeah. I mean, I can't wait to talk about the Saros Lankinen situation, which we will talk about here shortly. We'll talk more about our guy Peter's wares, because I do have a picture I sent to Jose. Jose will be back here in a second with you in that jacket. I'm wearing our new Loshak in the Bag shirt, Pete. I don't know if you've seen a Loshak in the Bag shirt I'm rocking right now, which is available at Pub Sports Radio. 8 games in NHL, 14 in MLB, 2 in NCAA basketball, 9 in NBA. Shout out to all the cappers in the chat. Man, do we have a heavy workload, so we're going to keep a brisk pace, and we're going to get into it within about 3 minutes. We got to get rolling about 3 minutes. But I do need to copy and paste all of the action here from these great cappers in the chat, Pete, because we know what makes our show special, and it is these cappers here that roll with us every day. Joe T., Justin McKelvey, and Razor Sharp Picks getting us ready. Milwaukee, first 5 full game for Joe T, and his best bet in the NHL, Blackhawks Islanders, first period over 1.5, which is great look. Stacks play today, Rose Arena over 1.5 bases at plus 112. And then our guy Razor Sharp Picks as well. He's got Gamblers first glance, Dallas plus 1 versus Golden State. I just love these cappers so much and how much they care about making sure that as a group, as a team, we know what their best looks are. I mean, we've all put so much effort into these cards. You get out of life what you put into it, and these guys are just sharing their action with us, and it really makes us stronger. So I've got all of their action here. We'll go over it game by game. Vipe in the house with the Cubs -1, Florida -1.5, and Calgary -1.5. You know, I can't wait to talk about this NHL card, and I won't wax too poetic on it. 8 NHL games. I said 7, 8 NHL games. I won't wax too poetic on it, but I've got a lot to say about it. Old E in the house. Joey Marinaccio, the Dapper Capper on Indiana State -3. We have OnlyFans Cat says Stacks play today, always winning. Yeah, Justin McKelvey is the real deal, man. Also, what you guys don't know is that average line, I'm guessing, would be about plus 109 or plus 108 as well. So that the 164 and 166 doesn't tell the story of Justin just handing out winners and winning overall with this action. The Nuke Worker Nuke Worker in the house. My guy Nuke Worker, Lamont Williams ready to go. He's got max bet in Tampa Bay. The Tampa Bay Rays, Miami moneyline, Cubs moneyline. Looking at all of those, so I'm gonna copy and paste that. Pistol Pete Loshak. So I'm gonna keep copying and pasting action. Jose, can you pop the picture up here so people can get a better idea? The picture I sent, get a better idea of what our guy Pistol Pete Loshak is wearing here and how good he looks. That'll pop up here in a second. I know
I look. I don't need a picture. I don't need a mirror. I know I look good without
everybody
picture,
else
mirror, comments, anything. Else. I know I look good.
That shirt could just cover your tits for all we know. We don't know. That could be a belly jacket for all we know.
Oh yeah.
We need our guys to know that it does go all the way down to your ass. I mean, there's some things that need to be explained. They don't know what color it is. They just see the fur, baby. They just see the fur. They need more knowledge. So I'm going to keep copying, pasting everything. Dan Kelly says, hit that 7-leg 102-1 team total futures $10 bet made back in October. Just need Golden State to lose one more game. There it is there. There's you.
Yeah.
You and the Nuke Worker live in San Antonio, Texas. I took 5 pictures on the trip. I'm not a guy who takes many pictures. That was one of them, Pete. That was one of them.
You know what Jim, as long as it doesn't, quantity, not quality. But quality, not quantity, Jimmy the Bag. All that matters is you clip one. Clip one and you got it.
Steve G in the house, Saturated, Bo Jackson, Rude Boy, Gerald Jones, 101, Benny, TJ in the house as useless stat of the day in the NHL. Panthers 9-1 last 10 versus Habs and coming off a loss to the Leafs last night. We have Primetime at 99, swept the day yesterday, being on the roll. Love to see it. I love to see it. Julian Cesario ready to get to work. A North Ender, Kent Davies. So just realized this week's PGA is in San Antonio. We should fly back down there. Love it. Rocco Rogers, everybody ready to go there. Swiggy in the house, and Swiggy saying these t-shirts, the Loshak in the Bag shirts, available on our website. Smooth Balls play today is Mets run line. Let's get that copied and pasted here. So I have everybody's action. We are seconds away from attacking the card in totality. So Lamont, I love it. Says he's out, got his bet in. Respect. Slatsy, Marcus McCarthy. Great group. There's JT in the house. Paul and Boats. Donut Silk says kicked off the MLB season betting against the White Sox, Oakland, the Mets off to a great start. Sean joining us says make sure everyone in the chat smash the like button. These boys are hardworking fellas. Thank you. Polo this, polo that. Rodney Barton, Strategic Investments, Nasty Nate. Thank you guys for all being here. I hope I got Harambe's, Revenge, Dav Fen, BT, Subhuman Gaucho, Kelly McInnes. Thank you guys for being here. It is time. Young OG in the house. All right, Pistol Pete, my friend. It's time to get to, but first, let's do a quick review. Jose, jump on with us here and talk to us about, and also good morning, Jose. How are you, my friend?
Good morning. Nice to see you both. Finalizing the cards, so it's going to be interesting to see what plays we end up on. Jimmy or Pete, I should say, nice jacket. Obviously.
Thank you very much.
How much you get it for again, Pete? Like $15?
Yeah, a couple of bills. It was cheap. We haggled them down. You know, even if you got a little money to spare, you always look for a bargain. I love a bargain, and that will never die. No matter what happens to me in life, I love a bargain. And Nasty Nate, trust me, I look good, dickface. Okay, trust me, Nasty Nate, I look good. Believe that.
All right, but here are the confidence pool standings here. Saturated in the lead right now at 145 points right now, and someone's going to have to do some catching up with him. Our friend Dennis Garcia right behind him, 5 points behind him. As you guys can see,
the decision has been made for payouts. We pay top 10%. That's not the top 3, Jose. That's the top 2.
Beautiful.
That's the top 2. And Jeff always wants to lean towards more cash being paid out to the winners. So only the top 2 of these 24 players will get paid.
All right. So then make that note right there. Saturated and Dennis Garcia in the lead there. Shout out to both of them. And I'll switch over to the the bracket pool, which sees another one of our good friends in the lead here. It's very nice to see familiar faces. Ye-ho, Jeff Slaughter in the lead right there in the bracket pool. Andrew next, Julian Cesario right there. Cesario, excuse me. Our friend the Reaver. Good people all up in the top there. So shout out to everyone that's in these brackets as well.
Yeah, exciting. And my mom will win if Purdue wins.
Yeah, I hope she does then, because I have Purdue to win it all as well. I've been saying that for a couple of months now. So good luck to your mother.
I love it. And thank you all for joining our contest. We're in talks about a playoff pool in NHL as well. So we're in talks about all these things. But right now, we've got to get to work. Nate Dogg saying, how about Caitlin Clark in Iowa? Caitlin Clark in Assassin.
Yeah, I lost me money last night. Those fucking bitches from LSU.
She's a monster out there. But let's get to work. We have 33 games on the North American sports handicapping landscape. Pete, we got to work quickly. We got to keep an eye on the clock. Sure. Let's roll.
Sure.
Let's roll.
All right, NHL. We're going to start, right, Jim?
Yes, we are.
Okay, first game on the – oh, my God. Sorry, I got to get my – okay, here we go. Washington, Buffalo, right? First game on the card. Washington, I know that a bunch of people were saying that Washington was old and they were due to fade at the end of the year. They've been good, though, Jim. Lost two in a row, both those – I'm sorry?
Very good. Very surprising.
Yeah.
I was very wrong.
Lost two in a row, but both those losses were forgivable. Still playing well. Before that, they were winning. They just seemed like a team with some life to them. Buffalo shut out at home by Toronto in their last game. Lost 2 or 3 on their current road stand. I believe that the Buffalo is still in it in the playoff race, but it definitely feels like they are just a deflated team, and that Washington still has some life to them. They're fighting for a playoff spot, right? And, sure, maybe it's a big bounce back spot for Buffalo. Someone earlier in the chat said that they like the Ovechkin over 3.5 shots on goal. He slowed down a little bit recently, so I'm not sure about that. But I don't know. You could probably tell a little bit better, Jim. I guess if it's an obvious bounce back spot for Buffalo, then they're a great bet. But all signs look like they're just a team that just doesn't have it. You think they're going to bounce back. They're not going to. And Washington is a team that, against tough competition, they'll get beat. But in a game that matters, as a dog, you might want to think about taking them. So I would be leaning Washington. Haven't bet it yet, and there's a few props that I might give out. But Jimmy the Bag, let's check out this one.
Dat fan said, no one said more than Jim. Jim, are my Caps legitimately good? They have great coaching, and they've come together like a veteran squad. Tom Wilson doesn't come back until next game, and I still believe that I will fade them. Now, I'm cheering for them. I need the Caps not to make the playoffs. It's an important bet for me. I need the Caps not to make the playoffs. That goal with 10 seconds left against the Islanders was just like, a kick in the neck. Now, the Islanders can still get in, and the Flyers can still not make the playoffs. But look, Buffalo, Pete, went from -128 to -120. And there's not a lot. Maybe this is the only sport that I can do this with confidence saying, well, that's wrong. That move is wrong. And I bet it at -120. It got up to -133. It got up to -133, up to -135. And I was like, look at this. Now it's at -131. But this is the one sport where I have the confidence. And look, it's right now, my record in NBA, NCAA basketball, MLB, they're all better than my NHL record right now. I know that I'm going to get to the black. I lost with the Lightning last night. Before the Wings scored that goal to make it 3-2, the Lightning played 6 of the best minutes of hockey that I've seen all season. They look like the team that's going to win the Stanley Cup. And then, of course, the Red Wings score and you lose your bet. I'm going to make it back on the Lightning like I have been. But I lost with the Lightning last night. The Buffalo Sabres are not giving up. They're not giving in. They've given the keys to the offense to Tage again after that tough season. He's lighting it up. This defense is a defense to believe in. The injuries are a non-issue for them right now. And the injuries and what's going on with the Capitals not having Tommy Wilson in there hurts them. So I thought the Buffalo – if it didn't go down to -120, I would have been on the -1 line. I didn't have to be on the -1 line. I like the Sabres here a lot to bounce back off that 3-0 loss on Saturday. Remember, this is game 4 of a 5-game homestand. Yes, the Capitals have had the extra day that they played the Bruins on Saturday night. Yes, the Capitals are tough competition. Yes, the Capitals are playing well. But the Sabres still have this outside shot. I mean, these teams are kind of crawling to the playoffs. And I think the Sabres – I question whether the Predators should have been my move on Bet Online. I question that because I think the Sabres are a great bet tonight. These two spots I like so much that I'm hesitant to add anything. I love Buffalo here. And I like CG saying, stay off Buffalo, way too consistent. I love them coming off of a loss, and I love them on game 4 of a 5-game homestand. I can understand his feelings. They're legitimate feelings. This is an inconsistent hockey team. And one team that you can count on more than the Sabres is that the Capitals come to play every night. They've been doing that. Their coach is leading them the right way. I'm on the Sabres. I caught it at the right time. Now I would have to bet them on the -1 line, which I would be comfortable doing. I think it's a bounce-back spot for the Sabres, Pete.
Okay, and whether it is or whether it isn't, Jimmy the Bag, just please don't make fun of me for my trying to bet the props market in your shows. We're going to add on Tage Thompson point -175 current line at Heritage as an official play. Tage Thompson point -175 current line at Heritage as an official play. And we're also going to chuck on Max Pacioretty under 2.5 shots on goal. Big favorite line, but we'll take it. Current line at Pinnacle is -186. I probably shouldn't throw that one on. The Thompson I like a lot more, but I'm going to throw the Pacioretty under 2.5 as well at -186. And just to make the show go faster, I'm going to line shop, and then if I see a better line, I'll just email it to you. But right now, Pinnacle has 186.
Sounds great. We're locked and loaded.
Sorry, Heritage is 181. Heritage is 181.
All
okay.
of the player props that are rolling there. Nate Dogg on the over. Slatsy on the draw. The draw I do like. And Subhuman Gaucho says, love Washington here. If, let's say Buffalo, I guess it doesn't. If Buffalo had beaten Toronto on Saturday, I still think game 4 or 5. This is my wheelhouse. This is my sweet spot. Game 4 or 5 game homestand. There's nothing anybody can say that would get me off of Buffalo here. Yes, Washington's been more consistent this year, and when Tommy Wilson comes back against Pittsburgh, they're bet on. Not here. Let's move on to the next game, Pete. Panthers Habs.
Okay, I'm also leaning Alex Tuck for an assist for at +127 or so. All right, next one is Florida and Montreal. Now this one I didn't get to look into as deeply as I wanted to because the line seemed off. Right, Florida on a back-to-back. They lost at Toronto last night. 7 out of their 9 last games they've lost. Now I know that Florida should have been at times they were a great team this year, great defensively, but they've lost 7 and 9. Their only win was in OT as a -230 home fave. Now they're going on the road on a back-to-back, giving a huge number to Montreal, who's off a shutout in their last game, but won 3 in a row before that. I don't know, man. How do you not take Montreal here? There's got to be a reason for this line.
You don't take Montreal because of Slatsy's useless trend of the day. The Panthers, 9-1 against Habs last 10. The Panthers just lost, but I'm not going to pay that price to expect the Panthers to bounce back under no circumstances. But I don't want Montreal. And don't look now, but Stolarz could become the playoff hero that so often happens when a backup goalie, it's their time to shine. He's been excellent this year, .925 save percentage. Sammy Montembeault has been strong. Panthers on the second half back-to-back, they've lost 3-4, lose 6-4 at the Leafs last night. The Habs were playing very good hockey, and then they lose at home to the Hurricanes 3-0. It's this just doesn't interest me. I mean, what we could talk about. So right now, the Panthers at -226. They opened up at -222, a 4-cent move towards them. And then from a total standpoint here, with Stolarz playing so well, and Montreal understanding that they got to play very tight, strong, accountable defensively, and let their first line roll. And shout out to Slafkovsky, who's been so good. There's been a 9-cent move to the under. I feel that. I like it. But this just doesn't. I guess the under 6 is somewhat appealing. Is it appealing enough? I'm not sure, Pete. I did not plan on moving on it.
You mentioned Slafkovsky. Slafkovsky to get an assist at +184 was something I was looking at, but not if you think that Florida is going to clamp down defensively here. Because when they were good this year, they were great defensively. No one could score on them.
Look at their games where they've succeeded too over the last 5. I mean, they're all low-scoring spots, and Paul Maurice is I use non-plus too much. He's angry about what's gone on in the last little while. This is not how you want to roll into the playoffs. So, yeah, I guess I have some interest in the under 6 that I will think about as we move forward. But that's about it. There's no side.
Capping the cappers here, I'm thinking the under 6 is really nice, actually, Jim.
It is. I didn't. It's.
All right, I'm going to make that an official play. You don't have to do it yourself, but capping the game. I'm going to take a shot with Florida Montreal under 6 minus 116 current line at Pinnacle.
And I guess Slatsy letting us know that Verhaeghe out of the lineup here. I mean, that would make it even more appealing to get Verhaeghe off of that line with Reinhart and Barkov because he's been so good. Interesting. Very, very interesting.
Sorry, 115 at Heritage. I mean, at Caesars.
Very interesting. Well, I'm going to keep an eye on it. And we haven't been going over the injury stuff as much as we should have over the first 2 games, but I have everything here, so we'll be discussing it all. Let's roll on, Pete.
Nasty Nate. Fun as hell. I wish you could make more jokes. We got so much shit to do. My personal highlight of Pubblepalooza was playing poker with Nasty Nate. I asked him. He asked me, do I want him to call? And I asked him, does he want me to call? And it was a hell of a lot of fun. All right, next game, Jimmy the Bag. Pittsburgh and New Jersey. Pittsburgh also on a back-to-back, right? Beat the Rangers last night. Now, what's up with Pittsburgh? Earlier in the year, at the beginning of the year, everyone said this is a deep team. They're going to be good. Then they sucked, and everyone's like they're an auto fade. Now they've won 3 of 4. They're kind of okay. New Jersey obviously was slumping for a while, but lost their last game. Now they've won 4 of 5. So my first thought is even at the big favorite line, I'd be leaning New Jersey. I've been kind of auto-playing Evgeny Malkin under shot props, even at minus 200, 2.5. I think I'm going to give that again. And when New Jersey wins, it's usually because Timo Meier scores a point, so I like that. And even when they lose, a lot of times he scores a point anyway. So I'm thinking New Jersey, even at the favorite line of minus 160, 170, something like that.
Yes. But I am not. We went over their defense. So they have Siegenthaler out with the concussion and Curtis McDermott out with a lower body injury. That shouldn't be that big of a problem. But, and I'm not going to go into this Tom Fitzgerald rant. I've done enough of that. But they can't be backed. They can't be bet on. There's certain things that you need when you make. Now, yes, they're probably the right side here. But they were probably the right side against the Sabres on Friday, and I planned on moving on. I know a lot of you guys did, but I couldn't do it. We went over their defense, and it is so appallingly bad that I just, with so much on the line here in this game, like I could see a draw, that kind of thing. But I just need to have legitimate trust in a team's defense. So last night, the Rangers were missing 3 defensemen, and look what happened. They lose badly, 5-2 to the Pittsburgh Penguins. That's hockey, folks. If you have Kevin Ball and John Marino as your top pair, Luke Hughes, Nick Desimone, and then Nemec and Brendan Smith, how are you going to win hockey games? I don't know. I don't know. Satsy says, man, Crosby just keeps balling. 19 straight seasons of over a point a game, tying Wayne Gretzky, the only 2 in NHL history to accomplish that. We are so lucky. We're so fortunate we get to watch Sid the Kid. He is the best grinder in NHL history. Look, I don't want the Penguins in this spot. I don't want the Devils in this spot. I don't want anything to do with this hockey game. I'm not going to put another cent on the Devils until they get some defensive reinforcements back. I don't care if this is a good spot for them, Pete. I want nothing to do with it.
Oh, my other note here is definitely leaning over, question mark, right, question mark. What do you think about that?
Sorry, say that again.
Definitely leaning over was my personal note on this game.
I mean, the Penguins are Equinimus says, I want the Devils here. The Penguins came off a huge win. Oh, I get that angle, Equinimus. I get that angle. I mean, that the angle that John, I get it. ASAP Tech looking at the under. These teams this is a hugely important game. If any team loses this game in 60 minutes, now neither have any chance really to make the playoffs, but they still have a hope in their head. And if either team loses this game in 60 minutes, their season's over. I imagine it's going to be a very tightly contested hockey game. Yari and Allen, but I don't want anything to do with it.
You think that Pittsburgh's going to be good defensively?
I think that they have no choice but to. They have no choice but to. They just don't have enough offense. The only way they're going to succeed is by playing very tight. And I think Crosby if you imagine Crosby demanding accountability in game 40, you should see him in game 75 or whatever it is. Like those guys better be ready to go. For the best hockey player of my generation, they better be ready to go for him tonight. I mean, I imagine like I'm very interested in this hockey game. I'm not betting it. And Steve G saying Letang off this year. I mean, Rutherford tried to trade Letang, but he wasn't allowed to, and that's why he left the franchise. I mean, these guys are just too old to continue to succeed. Not everybody can be Sidney Crosby, and So, look, let's move on. We got to keep a brisk pace.
All right, well, I'm 3 props I'm going to give, Jim. Malkin under 2.5 shots, minus 208, and Timo Meier to score a point at minus 175, and Timo Meier goal at plus 159.
I love it. It's exciting.
Okay.
It's fun. Makes it fun, but let's keep rolling.
Next game, Chicago and the Islanders. Chicago, shitty team, I guess, beat Philly as a big road dog last game. They've now actually won 3 of 4 and 7-5 in their last 12. So they're kind of a 500 team right now. Again, getting a huge a dog line here. Islanders on a back-to-back, won in Philly 4-3 last night. And, they've won a couple games recently, but they had lost 6 in a row before that. You were talking about how they were just a lethargic team, Jimmy the Bag. And in general, I've been doing okay with these props, but some of my terrible prop losses have been with Islanders, Bo Horvat and Brock Nelson over shot props and stuff like that when the new coach came. So I think there's still something wrong with it. Chicago is clearly fighting here, although they are, coming off of a big road win. So are they going to get another one? I don't know. But once again, it seems like way too big of a line. And Chicago, it's either Chicago or nothing. And maybe Chicago first period, or better yet, Chicago team total over. Connor Bedard is picking it up. So maybe Bedard, shots on goal over or assist. Both of those at plus money. It just seems like the Isles just still kind of suck. And Chicago has some life to them.
I just need to say, OnlyFans cats, Stacks play today is Justin McKelvey's play. Don't say those words again here in the chat. Don't confuse. You know what? I'm so close to bouncing you for good here, OnlyFans cats. Don't confuse people. Stacks play today is Justin McKelvey's bet that he gives here every day on the show. It's not Chicago Blackhawks take the money. If you do anything even close now, don't confuse people. Don't fuck with people. If you want to sit back, shut the fuck up, and captain, do that. You're seconds away here. No, we have some rules. He's fucking seconds away.
Well, I like OnlyFans cats, but I understand, Jim. I understand.
Yeah, I hope. Well, you know what? I would just I would force it, Pete. I wouldn't ask if it's okay. Okay, let's go. Peter Mrazek. He did it. Okay. And he's been trolling you. Okay. Yeah. If he's trolling Justin McKelvey, he's the fuck out of here, man. Let's just get this guy gone.
Okay.
No, you can't.
Come to New York, OnlyFans cast. We'll hang out.
You guys are the most important people fuck. If you don't fuck with us, just go somewhere else. Mrazek, Ilya, Sorokin. Mrazek, 17, 27, and 4, 3.05 goals against average, 906 save percentage, 1 shutout. Ilya Sorokin, 22, 19, 11, 3.08 goals against average, 907 save percentage, 2 shutouts. Sorokin's been such a disappointment. It must be tough having Patrick Waugh behind you, I guess, watching your every move. I don't know. Chicago power play 16.3%. It's been fun watching it excel again with Bedard back from injury. 77.6% penalty killing. Islanders 20% power play, 72% penalty killing. Like you said, the Blackhawks are playing good enough hockey. And like you also said with your player props, the Islanders just can't be trusted enough here.
I should have listened to you, Jim. You were like, this is going to be a lethargic team, and you were totally right.
Well, I'm trying to figure out what's going on. I still, because I've got them to make the playoffs at like plus 190, which would be, it's with a bigger bet, which would be helpful here. This total has moved from 5.5 to 6. I've told you guys on the show too. So there's been just a 1 cent move to another. I told you is that you don't want to fade the Islanders as a big dog. And we talked about that before the Panthers game, and they went out and beat the Panthers in Florida. Not that I had the balls to back the Islanders. It's, and that's important. It's important if you're going to say something like that to have the balls to actually make a bet on it, and I didn't. This line is with the Islanders at minus 246. This opened up at 247 and got up to minus 269. I don't think there's anything wrong with people thinking, despite being on the second half of a back-to-back, that the Islanders know how important these games are and going to smash the Blackhawks. In saying that, I don't trust them at this price. I don't want them on the puck line at this price. This just doesn't appeal to me on this massive betting card to move on the Islanders. Although if I had a free bet, yes, I would take the Islanders on the -1.5 puck line. And I had that opportunity last night at +110. And, yes, I looked at it. It's still at +110. Yeah, I looked at it. I looked at it for a while. But I'm not betting it. But I even when messages last year, it's like I'm interested in the Islanders. Now that was before. I would have preferred if they just handled the Fly. If they handled the Flyers, I would prefer that. But even then, I don't know if I move on it. So yeah, I'm off of this spot, Pete.
All right. Well, I'll take the Bedard props. I'll take over 3.5 shots at +109 and an assist at +115. That's currently line at Heritage, bunch of places. Over 3.5 +109 and assist +115. But you don't like the Chicago team total over 2.5 plus money?
No, I like the fact I shouldn't say I understand why this is moving from 5.5 to 6. I think there's going to be goals in this game. It's just such an important game for the Islanders. Do you
think they're going to clamp defensively?
But when the games are this important, you have to think that. But they're going to show up defensively. I don't see how they wouldn't. But and then Sorokin with all. I guess Sorokin's just under all this pressure. I imagine with Wall watching his every move. Varlamov playing well, but I just don't. I can't get in, and I can't get in.
Yeah, absolutely. Mike M. asking if it's a squirrel, Jack. Yes, it is. Not squirrel though. It's not squirrel. Higher grade of animal than squirrel, Mike M. All right, should we move on, Jimmy? So again, I'm taking. Go ahead.
Well, he remembers the squirrel hut. He remembers the squirrel hut.
Yes.
Your treehouse.
So this is a huge game for God because I so want to take a shot with Chicago first period or the team total over. But this is such a big game for the Islanders. You think they get up for this one at least? Oh,
they're going to get up for it, but that doesn't mean that they handle the pressure appropriately.
Right.
What have they done to earn our trust this year? They've played 36 games at home this year and won in regulation in 16 of them. 16 of 36 games, and they're a -230 favorite. So,
all right, I'm going to take a shot with I'm going to add on Blackhawks first period +164 as well. Chicago first period +164. That's the current line of Pinnacle. I'll shop around to get a better one if I can, but just 3 plays. Chicago first period +164, Bedard assist +115, and shots on goal over 3.5 +109. Move on.
Let's roll.
All right, next one. Here we go. Boston, Nashville. Talked about at the top of the show. I didn't understand the line when I saw it. Nashville seems like an obvious great bet unless there's something that I don't know. Jimmy the Bag thinks it's a great bet. Boston off of a shootout road win at Washington, but they had lost a bunch of games before that. Boston definitely. I don't know exactly how good or bad Boston is, but they seem like they're definitely not elite. A step down from elite at best, right? Nashville was awesome. 2 big road losses where they gave them a ton of goals. Now they're back home, and now they're – but see, here you go, Jim. I was like, it's such a great play. I was like, at -110, how can that – and now they're plus money? What's going on here?
Well, first off, I got in at +106 last night. It's now -105 at Pinnacle. I bet at Bet Online. It was a better number at Bet Online. And as I told you guys, I'm putting my best bet of the day from my account that we opened. Well, I was already open, but that we loaded up for Pubapalooza so we could live bet with the boys. Foxy in the house. Great to see you. We got Noli Knows. We got MLB coming up here in minutes. Just a 8-game NHL card. We're almost through. So the thing with Nashville is they were rolling. They went into Arizona. They had points in 18 straight games. They were on a 6-game winning streak. It was the 6th game of an 8-game homestand for Arizona, which is a great spot for Arizona. And I was very concerned about the spot. Saros got lit up for 6 goals. And then Lankinen came in and shut the door. He made 11 saves. They allowed 2 empty netters. And then against Colorado, in a game that you would think meant so much to the team, they started Lankinen. And I was appalled. I was actually kind of angry on Saros' behalf. If this is the guy you are going to war with in the playoffs, you give him the opportunity to bounce back. Lankinen sucks. He got lit up. So Lankinen got lit up for 6 goals. And now Saros is coming back. I've not talked with Saros. I don't really know where his head's at. I don't know. I can't say here that, yes, he's going to bounce back. Watch him bounce back. I hope he does. I hope he shows character here. This is a very important start for him. Boston comes in off their second win in 3 games, 3-2 in a shootout, Washington on Saturday. This is a team that's full of character. And, McAvoy on defense is a special talent. And Pasta is an MVP candidate. He should be a top 3 MVP candidate. He's been absolutely spectacular last year. Marchand does so many good things. Zaka and Coyle's trying to be a top 6 forward and things like that. But I agree with your take that they are not an elite hockey team. And I'd be interested in fading them. Now, it's not fun fading the Bruins. It's not fun fading the Flyers. I do it nonstop. There's their teams with a ton of character. And, but I think Nashville bounces back. This is a perfect time for them to do that. And this is, a long trip the Bruins are on, long road trip that the Bruins are on. So I'm on the Predators, and I deemed it my best play on the board, and that's why I put it in at Bet Online. At plus 106, I guess, risk-reward-wise, I deemed it the best play on the board. So let me just touch on the total, because we touched on the spread, the money line. From a total side of things, this is sitting right now at under 6 at minus 117. Opened up at 5.5, so we've moved up to 6. So the market is saying that they don't trust Saros. Look, it all comes down to Saros. And I'm betting that the Nashville Predators and UC Saros bounce back, but I need Saros first and foremost to do that. And that's gambling, right?
Yeah, well, it is down back to minus 105 at Pinnacle, so that's nice. And I'll take the Pinnacle line right now. I'll take Nashville -1, Nashville -1 plus 166. Nashville -1 plus 166. Current lines at Pinnacle. And while we're doing the rest of the NHL segment, I didn't have time to look at player props for these other bunch of games, but I'm going to try to add on a few Nashville ones last minute here because I do think it's a good spot for them. All right, should we move on, Jim?
Yeah, let's speed up and move on. Senators Wild next.
Yeah. Next one is Ottawa and Minnesota. Now, you tell me here, Jim. Again, Ottawa out of the playoffs, right? But they're playing with life, right? 1-5 in a row. The coach is saying that, he wants them to, figure out, get familiar with playing good and all that. Minnesota, they're hanging on for dear life. They're trying to make it into the playoffs, and they tried to pull a fast one in their last game, right? They tried to get, they had 1 point locked in. They tried to get 2 points, and it backfired on them. So I think they're still in the playoff race mathematically, but it feels like they're just deflated now. And I know that Hartman is also out for Minnesota here. So the question is, Ottawa playing out the string, but they're off of a road win. Are they going to sort of take it easy a little bit on the road here and give their better performances playing out the string at home? And Minnesota, they're pretty much done, but after the last game, are they deflated now or do they bounce back? Feels like there's great value to be had here. Can't quite tell, and it seems like it's all about psychology and mind state. Minnesota again very deflated. So do they bounce back for one game, or are they just like, all right, that's it, our season's done? And Ottawa rolls again as a dog, 6 wins in a row despite being out of the playoff race.
Been a lot of debates about pulling your goalie on 3-on-3. We're going to see a lot of it here over the next 2 weeks for teams that need the 2 points and don't want to go to a shootout. Shout out to Tom Miggins, another selfless capper. He's just wanting us all to cash. Levels play today's in. I've copied and pasted all of it, and we will go over it. So here we go. Markel, we're almost done here in NHL, getting into MLB here in seconds. But with this spot, Korpisalo can't be trusted. I've got Marc-Andre Fleury listed. He can't be trusted. Minnesota comes off their 3rd loss in 4 games that you spoke of here. Senators coming off their 5th straight win, 3-2 at Winnipeg on Saturday. Yeah, the Senators are playing very good hockey, and you just look to the coach. You look at Jacques Martin. That's who's doing it, and Alfie behind the bench. I mean, these are guys that have that Crosby-esque ability to demand accountability, and they're getting it from their players, and I get it. I still fear fading the Wild at home. I have feared it all season long. This total opened up at 6. It was a juiced 6 to the over. At Pinnacle, it opened up at 6.5, and it dropped to 6, and it's back at 6.5. We've had a very slight move to the over. And on the money line here, I personally don't want to get in the way of the Ottawa Senators. I'd like to find ways to be on them. as big dogs at home, or at least dogs at home. I guess big dogs might be asking a little much. This opened up at plus 135. It's down to plus 124. I think. Oh, shout out to Razor Sharp Picks, gifting 5 Up Sports Radio memberships. What a guy he is, Razor. And Gambler's First Glance is in. We will discuss it. And thanks again for sharing that. But Razor, you're the man. I almost tapped the GFG video, but we'll play it before your action. And thank you, man. Means a ton to us. Look,
Razor Sharp, Jim. Sorry.
Yeah.
He was the first guy that I ran into accidentally at the airport. And the first thing I asked him was like, what's your best play of the day? And he gave it to me. And then I was like, all right, just give me all of them. Just give me all of them. We're there at the baggage claim. He's like, I didn't even ask him how he's doing. How's your life? How's your family? How's your health? I was just like, give me just your best play of the day. And he did. And then I was like, give me fucking everything you got right now, right here in the fucking airport, San Antonio. Shout out to Razor Sharp Picks. So fun to run into him.
Yeah, he's a great guy. It's Senators are no bet. And this is probably one of those draw spots that you guys are looking for. It's Senators are no bet. And with the Wild at home, I would prefer no bet. I think they have been stewing off of that loss, but I don't think they're like, in the dumps and giving up. And shout out to James Parm, now a member of We Be Pubbin as well. I love it. Smooth balls play today, Mets run line. I think I copied and pasted that. Let me just double check. But this is coin flippy here. Like, and there's nothing wrong with coin flipping. We talk about it in baseball, the way the coin flips, and maybe this is the right way to coin flip because you're getting a plus line on Ottawa. It's just I can't do it. I fear the Wild at home, and I don't. It's not. I don't feel like I have a big enough edge to bet it. I mean, you could give it out as a pick at plus 125 and all that, but I'm not going to do that if I'm not going to bet it.
Okay, I will give one pick on this game, and that will be Eriksson Ek, shots on goal under 3.5 minus 180. I've been doing pretty well with his shot props, and so I'll give that here. Current line Pinnacle under 3.5 minus 180. Eriksson Ek probably can get a little bit better somewhere else. I'm sorry, Jim, go ahead.
Oh no, I was just listening.
And then Kaprizov. Yeah, do you think this is going to be a tight defensive game? Probably, right?
Yeah, I mean, I'm surprised it's a 6.5. I just can't trust the goaltending enough, even though Korpisalo's being a little better. Yeah, I mean, if we were just firing out plays, I mean, probably be on the Senators the under 6.5. It's not.
Yeah, Kaprizov to score a goal like plus 104, so is probably good as well. But I will hold off on that one for now. All right, let's move on, right, Jim?
Yes, let's move on. 2 games left.
Okay, next game. I'm sorry. Yeah, Anaheim, Calgary. This is another one. You tell me if this is wrong. Now, Anaheim on a road trip, losing game in and game out, right? Last one was close as a huge dog. Okay, Calgary, obviously, it's just a kind of a disaster of a team, but they're still in the playoff race. They beat LA in their last game. They had lost a bunch in a row before that, so now they're at home. They are technically still alive. And you got to think that Calgary's going to come and try to get another win here, even though they know that they're pretty much done, although they're mathematically in it. And Anaheim, they're probably just going to come in and do the same thing, lose again, and maybe get a couple wins at the end of the year when they go home. But even at the big line, and I would definitely take high volatility here, so I'd probably take minus 1.5, but to be safe, Calgary minus 1. Despite the fact that Calgary's been so bad, overvalued, and all that, I think they might be the right play here, even as a massive favorite.
They're playing really good hockey. The Blues minus 1, I was fortunate to cash, and I probably shouldn't have gone. They completely outplayed the Kings. It was really tough to watch how badly they outplayed the Kings. There's a reason why they're this line. If you hear them talk to, and now it's gone down, open up minus 29, now minus 224. If you hear them talk, outside of the room, they believe in themselves, and they're playing good hockey. They know they're playing good hockey, and there's more positivity than one would expect from this hockey team. The Ducks still have Zegras back, and if anybody watched the Ducks-Canucks game, the one thing that I was struck with was how much more dangerous the Ducks power play looked than the Canucks power play. I mean, that's a real problem. The Canucks power play is just way, way too high. Everyone, Quinn Hughes is being defended, but they're still always on the perimeter. Zegras and McDonald. I'd like to find a couple spots to back the Ducks as we move forward. But
sure.
hearing what they're saying about, the Flames, what they're saying about each other in the room is that they know they're outplaying teams and they're ready to show out to finish off the year. So I just got to stay off of this spot. I don't want Nate Dogg says he still believes Calgary makes the playoffs. I mean, you should bet it, because I'm sure you'll get 100-1. Let me just see what you get right now. You'll get a ridiculously crazy number, to reach the playoffs right now. If you think they have, they won't even offer it. They won't even offer it to you. I don't know how mathematically. I mean, they can't make the playoffs. I mean, because look, I already cashed their season win total under. I mean, they're not officially eliminated, but how do you cash the season win total under when they got 11 games left? But, I love you're a great NHL capper, Nate Dogg. You can message Bet365 and ask them what odds they would give you on that, because they'll give you over 100-1. I'm off this spot, Pistol, Ducks, Flames. I'm off.
Okay, well, I will make it official. I'll take a pinnacle line right now. Calgary -1, -153. I should probably take 1.5, but I do think that they'll get the win. And I will also. So I don't have time to price out some props, but if I get some, I'll just post them on X and then send them to you, and those will count for my record, right?
Yeah, absolutely.
Okay, so for now, just Calgary -1, but I'll probably chuck on a few Calgary offensive props as well. All right, let's move on. Jimmy the Bag. Next game, last game on the card is Vancouver and Vegas. Vancouver, again, barely beat Anaheim last game as a -500 home fave. They lost 2 in a row before that, but before that, they had won a bunch. So not exactly sure what to make of Vancouver right now. And Vegas, back from their 4-game trip, they won 3 of them. They've been winning. Their last game was that crazy game against Minnesota. And I don't know. I guess the big question here, I would definitely want to pull the trigger on Vancouver, at least first period, unless they're just like kind of a crappy team, because they have, they lost 2 in a row, and then they barely won as a -500 home fave. So maybe this is a wildly overvalued team right now. But if they're not, I would probably take a shot with them, at least first period as a small dog. What do you think?
Well, first off, shout out to AJ1337, because Dakota Joshua, putting him up on the first line. I mean, now you're putting together a playoff type line. Who's going to go scoreless in the playoffs is Elias Pettersson.
Yes.
He's invisible right now with this huge contract. And, the Canucks will have to deal with this. They overperformed throughout the first half of the year and got everybody believing again. And now Thatcher's not going to come back to the playoffs. What can he do, without – how can he go into the most important games of the year without playing for a month? It's very, very, very tricky. And I'd be all over Vegas if they weren't coming home off this successful 4-game road trip. They win 7 out of 8 points in this road trip. I can't. Joe Yurkovich. Well, I mean, look, I go over my futures almost every day at this point of the year, and so right now, I can go over all of them at some point. We're in such a rush, but I've got a lot on the line. I've got a lot more futures than I would prefer to have out there, so I'm excited. But nothing like NBA, where Dan Kelly just put money in my pocket. So here, I would love to fade the Golden Knights, but we all know, and we've heard from the players' mouths, that you don't want to back them on their first game back from a road trip. We've heard it from them. I do not want the Canucks in any form or capacity. I think that the LA Kings will knock them out in the first round if that is the matchup. We have this total here at 5.5, and the Kings aren't that good of a hockey team. Now they could heat up, but there's been a 7-cent move to the over at 5.5. I was interested in the under, but again, can I trust Vegas coming back? That's the problem. Vegas sitting at -131, opening up at -133. I just don't find this. It's too bad. I want to fade the Canucks. I'm going to look for ways to fade the Canucks as we go down the stretch here. I wish I could do it here, and I can't. But we've seen Vegas turn it on. Vegas has flipped the switch and turned it on, and everybody better look out, because this team is quality in every sense of the word, and they've circumvented the cap, and I don't know. I don't want to get into. We got to move on to baseball, but
yeah, I've kind of learned my lesson. Vancouver might win the first period, 1-0 at plus 117 or whatever, but so many times I do a play like that, and I either get a push or it's like tied, and then the class starts to show even at the end of the first period. So total pass for me, Jimmy the Bag. That's it.
Coin saying Vegas and the Malinsky special tonight. You're absolutely right, Coin. We've been talking about that on the show and talking about Malinsky and keeping his name present in our capping because he was such a spectacular capper and such a leader. Joey B says,
"Hey, Malinsky."
Yeah, of course.
Oh, man, what a great guy. Oh, what a great guy. One of the first people I followed. Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, he was one of the first people I ever discovered who was like, this guy seems like really smart and not insane. Why is he involved in sports betting? And then, of course, I met 100 others like that. But he was one of the first ones.
Yeah, no, he's a real deal. Very, very special. And Joey B says, Loshak about to walk into the Tropicana before they knock it down and lay $20K on the Knights money line tonight. So
let's do it, baby. I'm ready for anything. Anything.
All right, let's review all NHL. We're going to hear from Peter here in a second. He's going to get his stuff together. But I made 2 moves last night. Buffalo minus 120 and the Predators at plus 106. I would prefer to go into war tonight with those as my 2 NHL bets. You guys know that my unit size is higher than NHL and anything else. I would prefer that. The under 6 in the Habs Panthers game is appealing. There's no doubt that it is appealing, but I'm not as high on it at this point as my other spots. So, but that's it for me. 2 spots in NHL for me, and I need to get into the black. Last week we won every day. I was only here for 3 days, right? Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, win. We won each day. I need to keep that rolling, and I'm going to keep things tighter because of that. I need to force the glory. Pete, your action today.
You want me to review everything? Yeah, I'm just reading about the Tropicana. That really does suck. All right, my NHL action. Tage Thompson, point, minus 175. Pat Chiaretti, shots on goal, under 2.5, minus 181. Florida, Montreal, under 6, minus 115. Evgeny Malkin, under 2.5 shots, minus 208. Timo Meier, point, minus 175, and goal, plus 159. Connor Bedard, over 3.5 shots, plus 109, and assist, plus 115. And Chicago, first period, money line, plus 164. Nashville, minus 1, plus 166. Eriksson Ek, under 3.5 shots, minus 180. Calgary, minus 1, minus 153. And I'll probably tweet out some props in the Nashville and Minnesota game. Sorry, the Nashville and Calgary games as well, and add those to my record.
I love it. It is time to get to MLB. Johnny Gunn says, what's good? Made it just in time for MLB. We all have learned so much watching Pistol Pete Loshak cap MLB. He's opening his account right here on today's show. And we have the star of Say Hey Plays of the Day. This show, when we get into baseball, turns into Say Hey Plays of the Day. So please welcome off to a winning start this season as well, our friend and yours, young Jose Bouquet, to the show. Jose, how are you, my friend?
I'm doing great. It's nice to see you guys as always. Pedro, you look great.
Thanks very much.
Good time.
Yeah.
I checked if I was on my mic today, and seemingly we are, so that's always a good start. But yeah, a bad day yesterday, but I think today's really tricky, and I'm glad that I'm talking it out with you guys.
I'm really excited about this card. I think there's a lot of opportunity on this card. I've only moved on 2 spots, but let's get after it. Also, I have not made a bet in MLB since Friday. I really wanted to just come in and completely refreshed, and I like the work that we're doing all together, and there's nothing more important. I mean, of course, family is the most important, but than winning right now, we just must win. So let's get after it.
It's a close second, but it's not more important.
It's very, 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 very close second.
Very close.
Let's get to work, everybody. We start at 4:10 p.m. Eastern. We have the Minnesota Twins 2-1. All 3 games have played on the road so far. At the Milwaukee Brewers 3-0. This is the home opener at American Family Field in Milwaukee, Wisconsin. We believe Varland on the mound for the Twinkies. 4-3, 4.63 ERA, 1.22 WHIP last year. He had a really nice K to walk ratio last year, 71 Ks to 17 walks to 68 innings, and they're very hopeful for him to be a big part of this rotation. Slow Jam says RotoWire has a lot of rain on the East Coast. Let's pull up swishy here, swishy analytics. And let me just give it a refresh, and we'll go over all of these spots here. First off, we don't need to worry about that at American Family Field because there's a roof. We have a couple pitchers here to start off, and it's Alec Marsh in the Royals game and Louis Varland in the Twins game that started off their spring spectacular. Louis Varland in his first 4 appearances did not allow a run in 11 innings with 11 strikeouts and 1 walk. And then he got lit up and smoked in the last 2 appearances. 9 innings, 16 hits, 14 earned runs, 5 Ks, 3 walks. He looked horrible. And I don't want to put too much energy into that, but that is horrible. Earl Sports bets on the over 8.5. Billy Friedrich says not a strong roof, though. That's true. Going up against Jacob Younes, I want to fade Younes as much as possible. You guys know that. Jose, I've nonstop. Every time he pitches, I want to fade him. I don't think he is a starting pitcher in this league. But at times when he was at home, I had difficulty with him. Last year, he was better than I thought he was going to be. Now at home was Oracle Park. Of course, now he's with Milwaukee. Younes 4-3, 3.87 ERA, 1.29 WHIP last year, 96 Ks and 86 innings. This spring, he was bad, which is who he is. He's bad. 10 2/3, 10 hits, 7 earned runs, 10 Ks, 3 walks. Brent Cook says the Brewers easy. Let's get into the line history here, and then we are going to go to our experts. For the first one, we'll have Jose going first and Peter going second, and we will switch each time. So here with Pinnacle line moves, we have Younes opening up right now at -110. They opened up at even money. So the Brewers have gone from dog to favorite in this spot. And from a total side of things here, and I'll have all this up, we'll be going much, much faster here shortly. From a unit side of things, from a total side of things here, let's get this up. And then I'll get the cash flow up here. Why don't we just go to Jose first, and then I'll remind everybody of the total move and the cash flow on this one. Take it away, Jose. First game on the board, the home opener in Milwaukee, Wisconsin.
Yeah, I think a lot of these games today are pretty tricky line movement wise. I had this game actually just opening up at -110 for the Brewers at Bet Online. And I don't know. I think it's interesting. Like I saw someone else talking about that reverse line movement there. And I was like, okay, that's interesting. And then I saw looking at another line where it opened up -110 for the Brewers, flips all the way to the -105 each way, basically. And then now it's back to -112 Brewers. It's interesting. I definitely lean Twins here, I'll be honest. I'm seeing a lot of Brewers love in the chat. And I just, maybe I'm simplifying it too much. I just think the Twins are a better team, At the end of the season, I think the Brewers could be a last place team, and the Twins are going to win their division. So I lean Twins here. Excuse me. I just didn't have the conviction to make the bet here. Varland, his last 2 spring outings definitely did not inspire confidence, and I don't believe in Younes either. So I definitely lean Minnesota. I thought about team total as well, but nothing here for me.
And I'm still having a second issue getting my totals up here for whatever reason on the site I use. It'll come up, I'm sure, in a second, or I'll figure it out. But can you talk to us about the movement on the total?
Yeah, I can bring it up right now here. So we'll bring up full game total here, and I'll bring up Action.
I'm in too, so I can help out.
Okay, go ahead then.
Sorry, it took a while. I apologize, but everything will be moving smooth here. The under 8.5 opened at -102. It's now -104. So we've just had a 2% move towards the under. And cash flow, 29% of the tickets and 62% of the cash on the Minnesota Twins. But we see the market, at least from the Pinnacle opener, moving towards the Brewers. From a total side of things, we have no cash flow information, but we know 56% of the tickets are on the under and a 2-cent move there. Let's hear what Pistol Pete has to say about this spot. Maybe is he making his first official pick here on our show? Take it away, Pete. What are your thoughts here for Twinkies Brewers home opener at American Family Field?
Well, I will. It's an educated guess, and the big issue is I think Younes is a known factor. Varland's a little bit different. Not clear what to make of him, but I know that his velocity on his fastball was kind of up, but then on his secondary pitches, the velocity was actually down, but the movement was higher. So I think Varland might be okay here. I know he got crushed his last 2 spring starts, but I think I'm going to take a shot with Minnesota. Not full game, but just first 5. I mean, or first 5 or first 3. But I think I'll just take first 5 with Minnesota. It's an educated guessing that Varland will be okay, and that his the improvements in his movement on his secondary pitches is something that will be here in some way, shape, or form. I'm going to take a shot with Minnesota first 5, though. Money line.
Minnesota first 5 money line. Can you line shop that for us?
Yeah, Pinnacle has -105. You can give me that, and I'll line shop a little bit to see if I can get better. But
Loshak on the Twins first 5 -105, and Jose, you and I are staying off of the spot.
Yep.
We move on. 6:35 p.m. Eastern with the Kansas City Royals 1-3, 0-1 on the road at the Baltimore Orioles 3-1, 3-1. All 4 games have been played at Camden Yards in Baltimore, Maryland. We have fog, and then light rain coming this evening. 9.1 miles per hour in, gets up to 11.6 miles per hour in by the end of the game. Gagnon, no, that's not sheep's wool. That is squirrel. He is wearing squirrel. Let's get into this here from a money line standpoint. We have, oh, God, I got them both on totals. Unbelievable. From a total standpoint, we are sitting here at under 8.5 at -111. This opened up at 9. So we have a move to the under, a half-run move to the under. And from a money line standpoint here, sorry, I screwed that up here. We are dealing with a -164 for Irvin and the Orioles. This opened up at -154, so we've had a 10-cent move towards the Orioles. And then from a cash flow standpoint, we have 29% of the tickets and 76% of the cash on the under. We have 90% of the tickets and 83% of the cash on the Baltimore Orioles. Alec Marsh had the same type of spring as Louis Varland. You know, they're similar prospects. You know, they're not like the highest of elite prospects. You know, I know that Marsh was a second rounder. I thought Varland was a late first rounder or a second rounder. Marsh 3-9 last year, 5.69 ERA, 1.56 WHIP, 85 Ks and 74 and a third. The first 4 appearances in spring, he's unhittable. I mean, he looks spectacular. It goes 10 innings, 5 hits, 1 run, 12 Ks, 4 walks. And then last 2 appearances, he gets lit up. Not quite as bad as Louis Varland, but bad. 6 earned runs over 7 2/3. Cole Irvin is average. He's so average. And then when he's in front of a very good baseball team, you know, he can get wins. I kind of don't want him in the favorite role. 1-4 last year with a 4.42 ERA, 1.28 WHIP. Just slow down. Arsenal says Baltimore has rallied around the bridge collapse. I've been cashing with them on the run line. You're absolutely right. They have. Chris Tatum on Baltimore -1.5 plus 125 and Baltimore money line -160. Nate Dogg 420. Baltimore money line and leaning over, and he's got the Irvin strikeouts here. And when I go back to the plays of the day, I thought we had one on Baltimore, but I don't have one here. Take it away for us, Pete. You start this one off. The Orioles welcoming the Royals.
Okay, I'm starting it?
Yeah, we're going to keep switching back and forth. Yeah.
Oh, so this is like when Van Halen went on tour and David Lee Roth and Sammy Hagar would like switch who opened and closed each show. All right, I hear you, Jimmy the Bag. You know, you're like, if you like. All right, yeah.
I got that reference. I understood it totally. Got it all.
Yeah, you know, I mean, I would love to take Baltimore here. Irvin's another interesting one. You know, he kind of started out as sort of a lefty soft tosser, but his velocity has improved. In spring training, his velocity was up. When left-handers start to have an increase in velocity, that can start to get deadly. So I'm not sure what to make of Irvin right now. Obviously, his strikeout and walk numbers in spring were not good, but Baltimore is a much better team. I don't know. I would love to take Baltimore here, but I'm not going to pull the trigger on it. But that's definitely the way I'm leaning.
Yeah, and I know a lot of people think this game, you know, could be rained out. TJ thinking it may be rained out. It's not even. It's 32% rain at RotoWire, and the rain's not supposed to start till late. So this game starts, I believe. There's our guy Top Set in the house. Johnny Gunn says, assuming this game goes, give me the unders here. I like the Nerfy here as well. Londo says the Sharps are on the under. Do you agree? I mean, yeah, most definitely. The question I asked though isn't, you know, the Sharps are on it. Was there a move by the marketplace? And there was. It went from 9 to 8.5. You want those two to both coincide and both correlate. Take it away, Jose. Your thoughts here for game 2 on the board.
Yeah, this was a pass for me, unfortunately, as well. Shout out to BJ, by the way. 5-unit play on the Marlins. No play for me here. I didn't have on action on many of these early games, actually, very interesting enough. But I will shout out Tim Earl again. Every time we talk about the Orioles, I feel like I'm obligated to talk about how he's betting them every day and just to see his results and, again, get that FOMO, because sometimes I feel like I should be doing it too. Just kind of how we'll talk about another bet I feel like I should be doing every day, but I haven't been so far. But yeah, he's bet the Orioles every day. And this was this morning. He tweeted out that he's on him again today. And money line, he's 3-1, up 1.55 units, and run line, he's up 2.75 units. So shout out to Tim Earl doing the thing, tracking it. Shout out to you, my man. I'm not on this game, but if I had to bet it, I'd just roll with the Orioles, like I would probably tend to do every day. But nothing here for me.
Let's roll on. We have wine time on the under 8.5 in this one. Let's move on to the next spot on the board. Jose will be opening this one up. Los Angeles Angels 2-2. All 4 games have been on the road this year. At the Marlins, who've started the year 0-5 with all of these 5 losses coming at Lone Depot in Miami, Florida. We have Tyler Anderson going up against Jesus Luzardo. Tyler Anderson was horrible last year. 5.43 ERA, 1.49 WHIP. What was the year prior an outlier? He's a tricky pitcher to figure out. He looked pretty good. He didn't look pretty good. He looked very good in spring. 20 strikeouts and 3 walks over 16 2/3. He did allow 19 hits, 7 earned runs. And then Luzardo is a very good pitcher. We know that. 5 innings, 2 hits, 2 earned runs, 8 Ks, 2 walks, 1 homer, and a 6.5 extra inning loss home to the Pirates on opening day. Last year, 3.58 ERA, 208 strikeouts. I mean, he looked excellent. In the spring, he looked strong. 7 earned runs in 12 innings, but 12 strikeouts and 1 walk. Let's pull up the line history here. This wasn't a very appealing spot to me. This total opened up at 8.5. It's moved to 9. It moved to 9 27 minutes ago. From a money line standpoint here, we're sitting with Miami at minus 139. They opened up at minus 142. So a very slight move towards the Los Angeles Angels. And then cash flow wise here, we have 50. It's a coin flippy total. 47% of the tickets on the under, 53% of cash. Although we've seen movement towards the over. And we have 78% of the tickets on the Marlins money line, but no cash flow information. Joe Yerkovich says total is awfully high for this stadium, but Johnny Guns expects runs. We know Wine Time Sports knows this Angels team inside and out. Says cash for the Angels last 2 games. I won't back Tyler Anderson in this spot. Marlins eventually have to get a win, and this seems like the spot. Take it away for us here, Jose. Game 3, Angels Marlins.
Yeah, I guess Pete, I'm David Roth this time. I'm David Roth ending or starting the show. Whatever.
No, you're Sammy Hagar. I'm David Lee Roth. Okay, get it straight.
Fair enough.
I'm
I don't
Diamond
know who.
Dave.
I don't know who these people are, unfortunately.
Not that I love Sammy Hagar. I'm Diamond Dave.
Okay, fair. I'm Samuel. Yeah,
Jim's like, no, laugh. Jim's like, please just move on.
Serious. Yeah, here's the thing. I obviously agree with the people in the chat, especially Wine Time, when he's basically took the right out of him. The Marlins have to win a game eventually. I think they're going to win a game here. I think it'll be this game probably. Minus 140 is just a little high for me. And I don't trust Tyler Anderson. Again, the Marlins last year were good against lefties, but they also, again, had Soler, and he was crushing lefties last year. So do I really trust him? No. I do think that this Marlins team is not good and should be faded most times this year, but I couldn't get there today with betting them. I definitely agree that they get the win here today, but the market or nothing didn't make me reassured of this. But so yeah, I lean with my guy, Baby Jesus, but nothing here.
Yeah, I can understand that. I do, BJ back in the Marlins would give you confidence back in the Marlins, but is it attuned to catching a falling knife here with them 0-5 to start the year? Pistol Pete Loshak, Angels, Marlins.
Yeah, this is a tough one. I like the Angels in general. You're right. Luzardo is, he's going to get crushed here and there, but in general, he's good. Tyler Anderson, not sure what to make of him. Seems vulnerable. Had a not too bad spring, though. What I would love to do is just like, is say like, okay, my official bet is on the Angels at whatever the money line is when Luzardo is gone. But, that's a little bit too complicated, so we won't do that. But, Miami has bullpen issues, big lineup edge to the Angels. Anderson seems pretty vulnerable. So live betting the Angels when Luzardo's out might be worth a shot. I don't think I can take Miami first 5, though, as a favorite. So I guess it's going to be a pass.
I apologize to everybody. My mic was not on. I don't know why that was, but it's on now.
I didn't notice.
Let's move on to 6:40 p.m. Eastern. Cincinnati Reds 3-1, 1-0 on the road at the Philadelphia Phillies 1-3, 1-3 all at Citizens Bank Park, Philadelphia, Pennsylvania. Graham Ashcraft, Spencer Turnbull on the hill. Ashcraft 7-9, 4.76 ERA, 1.37 WHIP last year, 145 and 2/3, 111 Ks, 52 walks. I mean, that doesn't tell his story. He was horrific. And then they never really sent him down. I know. Did they send him down for a short? I don't even know if they certainly took him out of the rotation for a few weeks. And then he started getting better and better as the season went on, and he was a bet on performer. He has not appeared. He just stopped appearing in spring training games after March 12th. I don't know exactly why that was. I don't have that information. Maybe either you guys do. So March 12th, last appearance in spring, he went 9 innings, 9 hits, 7 earned runs, 6 Ks, 4 walks. I after starting off the year so poorly last year, I don't know what would instill anybody's confidence in backing Ashcraft here. Spencer Turnbull, dealing with injuries. Threw 31 innings last year, did not look good. He had a great spring. I mean, he does feel like the type of pitcher that is capable of bouncing back. This is opening up at minus 137, and the Phillies now minus 130. So we've had a move towards Ashcraft from a total side of things here. And we've already heard all about the weather and how this game is unlikely to go off. So we don't need to spend too much time on it. But according to Swish, this game should go, and there could be a slight break in the middle of it with drizzle. From a total side of things, we have an 8 here. This opened up at 9, so we've gone down the full run. It is juiced to the over at 8. TJ says, worried about the Phillies' pen heavy usage. Alvarado and Hoffman pitch back-to-back, so they won't pitch today. Christopher Tatum on the Reds' money line, and Billy Friedrich taking the Reds at plus money. Troy Torrance says, according to the bat database, Reds and under. Ricky Bobby said 60% rain pretty much all day here in Philly so far. And Troy Torrance says he would have already bet this game if it wasn't for the rain. Dabby Cab in the house. What up, Dabby? And then cash flow-wise here for this one, Peter will get us started on it. Cash flow wise, we have, too many things open up here. We have 58% of the tickets and 90% of the cash on the Cincinnati Reds, being backed pretty heavily. And then we have 43% of the tickets and 57% cash on the under. Peter Loshak, take it away.
Yeah, I guess I'm going to pass. It's definitely Cincinnati or nothing for me, Jim. We've seen this a lot. You ask, what would inspire confidence with Ashcraft? Well, first of all, he has had success in the majors, and we've seen this every year, you going back however long you've been following baseball. There's absolute auto-fade pitchers like Charlie Morton, lots of them, who then, for whatever reason, lots of reasons, suddenly turn into competent or excellent pitchers. And Ashcraft, in the spring, he was getting close to 100 when it mattered. His slider looked like it was good, and he was getting consistency. His two-seam fastball. So there is, spring training anecdotal reason to have confidence in Ashcraft. That's not the strongest, reasoning that you would want, but it's there. And Turnbull, I don't know. I'm guessing he'll be vulnerable, but his spring was actually pretty good. So, and the weather, I guess I'm going to pass, but it was definitely Cincinnati or nothing for me, leaning first half and full game.
And there's no concern that he didn't throw after March 12th?
Yeah, and if I knew someone in the locker room, I'd be able to, either say that's a real concern or don't worry about it. But I don't. Of course it's a little bit odd. But, there's all sorts of things, tinkering and this and that, and the analytics and the AI shit and everything. So I don't know why that would be. But his velocity was good for the stuff that's on record. His slider was the stuff that's measured was there were signs that he might be good again. And again, he has had success in the majors. It's been there. He's also gotten crushed. But the track record of success is there, and there's anecdotal spring training reason to believe in it.
I feel you. Let's hear what Jose has to say about this one. Take it away, Reds, Phillies.
Yeah, I'm a big supporter of the Ashman, Graham Ashcraft. I'm not on him today. The market, me personally, and Troy says that his database is screaming to him. I didn't find anything, too appealing market wise last time I looked at this. I mean, I see obviously 58% of the bets and 90% of the money on the Reds here, and the line seemingly has moved down towards the Reds here. If I have to double check here. See, it's interesting. See, my site is just not giving me these drastic line moves. See, now for me, I'd opened up at minus 140, dropped to minus 132, went straight back up to 43, 38, 43, then goes to 44, and now it's down to 38, 32, and it's climbed back up to 38 then again. So I've just kind of sat to this game, kind of watched. I do think that Turnbull is a pitcher that is liable to get hit this year. It doesn't really inspire confidence. Like I can't remember a pitcher that goes to the Phillies and just like magically becomes better. Like Michael Lorenzen last year threw a no-hitter, sure, but like he wasn't really good after that at all. And no pitcher really goes to the Phillies for me and just becomes better. Now, that hasn't happened since like Zach Wheeler, and Zach Wheeler, I think, is a special case. So I don't believe in Turnbull here. I like Ashcraft. I'd lean Reds for sure. The weather also affects this game, so I'm off. But yeah, I lean Reds for sure.
Yeah, you know what, Jim? I'm seeing it. I'll make the Reds first 5 or first 3. I don't know if I want to double up, but I'd rather have first 3. But I'd probably take first 5. I'll just take Reds first 5 plus 119 current line at Pinnacle as an official play. Reds first 5 plus 119.
Yeah, this start definitely could be a start that gets Ashcraft back on my list of pitchers because he's definitely a guy that I supported him back through the years.
I'm very interested to see what both these pitchers do this year. I think that Spencer Turnbull has shown us signs in his career that he can be a real pitcher in this league. I hear what you're saying about the Phillies pitching coaches not, they're not the Pittsburgh Pirates, but I hear what you're saying. I'm gonna roll on here. Troy Torn says Sharps on the road team and under in this price range. Sharps are 63%, and if the line moves with the bigger bets, 83%.
Yeah, and you know what?
Yeah,
I like the under too. I don't know if I'm going to put it on there, but I like the under also.
Okay, well, you got time to decide whether you want to add it.
Okay.
And Matty I saying, yep, when he's healthy, he is good stuff. Christian Hoover says, I went Phillies, but if I lose, I'll start respecting the Reds more. Haven't backed them yet. Let's move on to the next spot on the board. Jose will be getting this one started 6:50 p.m. Eastern with the Texas Rangers 3-1, 1-0 on the road at the Tampa Bay Rays 2-3. All 5 games played at Trop in St. Petersburg. Andrew Heaney going up against Zach Eflin. Let's get into the line history here for this one. We'll start with the total. This total is sitting at 8.5 minus 110 to the under. That's where it opened. There's been a 3-cent move to the over or a 4-cent move away from it. The over's gone from plus 101 to minus 102. When we get to the money line here in this one, we're sitting here with Eflin at minus 156. They opened up at minus 147. We got a 9-cent move towards Zach Eflin. Jose, can you touch on, because I'll do a little bit more set, but can you touch on your expectation on the Rays against lefties compared to last year and what you expect from them this year? And I'll go over the cash flow and set up the pitchers here a little bit. From a total standpoint, 75% of the tickets are on the over. We have no cash flow. On the money line, we have 41% of the tickets and 99% of the cash at this point on the Tampa Rays. It's too bad, and I'll get into why, but Andrew Heaney, 10-6, 4.15 ERA, 1.38 whip. He was good last year. This spring, he was good. 4 earned runs over 10 innings. Got what he needed. 12 strikeouts, 5 walks. Zach Eflin, first start, he didn't really get touched until the 6th inning. I don't think we should get too caught up in the 6 earned runs over 5 2/3. I don't think it really tells the story. It was Rays home opener, and the Jays got to him. He had a bad spring, but he looked very good for the first 5 innings of that baseball game. Take it away here, Jose Bouquet, Rangers, Rays.
Yeah, so we'll start with the Rays against lefties. I think the Rays offense last year was kind of a flash in the pan and kind of survived a little more on reputation for their first half because their first half was incredible. Like they just were the juggernaut team. Like they had some ridiculous record. They only like 6 losses for like a month. It was ridiculous. But I expect that to drop. Now, I went to look at their ranks against lefties last year, obviously really high, 4th, 120 weighted runs created plus. But I looked up, I was like, all right, who are the guys on that lineup that crushed lefties last year? Number 1, the best hitter against lefties last year, Yandy Diaz. Now, I looked at Yandy's stats for today or for the year so far. He's been okay, but most of his stats he's gotten in his last 2 games. Honestly, he went 0 for 5, 0 for 3, 0 for 5, and then finally woke up with a home run in his last game in a 3 for 4 performance. So I just can't believe, or I'm not going to believe that the Rays are this good at hitting lefties. Now, shout out to Dabby Cab, who is in our chat here. I've been mentally just battling the fact that I think I should be betting Rangers team total overs against all these shit pitchers like he did last year. Like if I'm seeing like just some random slapdick like Armstrong Alexander did the other day against the Rangers, I should just be betting the team total overs. Now, again, you have to battle those demons inside of you and determine what the best method of betting is here. But I'll just say, I'm looking at, I have my ranks of like, who's been cashing on team total overs. The Dodgers are still 7-0, by the way, another team that probably should be doing the same thing, 7-0 in team totals. The Pirates, 5-0. The Reds, 4-0. And the Texas Rangers, still 4-0 on team total overs this year. So I probably should be on a team total over here for the Rangers. Unfortunately, I am not. I'm staying off here. But yeah, like I said, I'm just battling that demon inside of my head about, should I just be doing these like, repetitive bets every day, bet the Orioles, bet the Rangers team total, et cetera, et cetera. It's just something we'll figure out as the day comes, I guess.
Yes. And you want to get in on those early because
too often, and it's early right now.
Yeah, because too often, well, I'm not saying get on them right now. I mean, you can make that call, but too often you and I have gotten on those too late. So I think that, you're on the right track, however you want to handle it. Let's hear Pistol Pete Loshak's thoughts here, Rangers Rays.
First of all, can I add one more for Cincy Philly? First 3 under 2.5 minus 119 current line at Heritage. First 3 under 2.5 minus 119 current line at Heritage. Okay.
You got it.
Okay, thanks. Yeah, this is a tough one. I mean, Eflin. Yeah, I think he's going to be okay. He got crushed in the spring, and then his first 5 innings were fine. Then he got crushed. So, he probably has some durability issues. I'd love to take a shot with Tampa Bay first 3, maybe first 5. Josh Jung being out for Texas is, I guess, a little bit tough. I don't know. Yeah, I guess I'm going to pass. Free play, I'd put it on Tampa Bay first 3 or first 5.
Good point about. I would say good point with Young being hurt, fractured wrist, so he's done for a while. And I did write down that Corey Seager destroys Zach Eflin. I think I saw his numbers were 4 for 5 with the extra base hits. So yeah, I don't play props, but look towards Corey Seager again. So again, shout out to Dabby Cab.
Let's get started here from my action, which I am excited to get to. My first bet of the day is in our next spot, 7:10 p.m. Eastern, with the Detroit Tigers 4-0 at the New York Mets 0-4. We're at Citi Field in Queens, New York. Let's get to the weather here in Queens. We have a drizzle and light rain. This game could very likely could not go, but I wanted to get my action in regardless. 11.5 miles per hour in right to left, between 11.2 and 11.6 all game long. We have Casey Mize and Adrian Hauser, 2 pitchers I feel like I know really well. 2 pitchers that I know Casey Mize has barely played since 2022, and we'll go over all that. But you guys know how close I keep an eye on the Tigers and their young pitching staff coming up. And so let's get into the line history here. Again, this game could easily not go. What does RotoWire thinks this game will not go? So we don't need to spend too much time on it, but I did bet it. The line for the Mets is at minus 126. Opened up minus 118. We have an 8-cent move towards the New York Mets. And then that's another thing I'm going to do. Last year, I let some spots go because I thought they were going to be rained out, and I would have cashed. And that's not going to happen this year. I'm just going to bet it and see if it goes. This total is now at 7.5. Opened up at 8. Dropped to 7.5. So that's where it is. And then cash wise here, we have 80% of the tickets on the under. There was no cash flow. There's no cash flow when I bet it. 61% of tickets and 92% of cash on the Mets, and the line moving towards the New York Mets. So Casey Mize, you guys remember, first overall pick in the 2018 draft. That draft's been really disappointing at this point, but still just 2024. There's still time, but it's been a very disappointing draft. In the spring, Mize looked great. 20 strikeouts and 9 walks. He went 20 innings, 12 hits, 5 earned runs. He allowed 1 home run, and I've always been a believer in Casey Mize. Character-wise, as well as on field. I believe in Casey Mize. Adrian Hauser, 8-5, 4.12 ERA, 1.39 WHIP, 96 Ks over 111 in the third last year, 34 walks. In the spring, he was fine. 12 innings, allowed 7 earned runs, 14 Ks, 1 walk. That's great. K to walk ratio, 2 home runs. He's also a pitcher who steps up. He's got character. I think he pitches a little better than he's athletically capable of. I moved on the first 5 under 4.5 at -120. At the time, it was -119 at Pinnacle, and it was it already at 4 at Bet Online? It was a 1 cent difference, and I just sent it in. Now it's at at Bet365 where I bet it. It's at 4. The under 4 is -105, and if I just quickly, if I wanted to move on the first 5 total under 4.5 right now, it's -145. So it's a 25-cent move. Maybe this game doesn't go, but I really like the spot. It's too bad it won't go because I'm extremely confident in this spot. Pete, you started off Tigers Mets.
Okay, first of all, Jim, you can add Tampa Bay first 3 innings money line -135. That's at Caesars right now. Tampa Bay first 3 money line -135 officially for me. Okay.
Loshak, Rays, first 3 -125. You're in.
-135. Sorry.
-130. And what book are you using for first 3s?
Well, Caesars has them. Heritage has them.
No, 365 has them too. I'm just I'm a little concerned I'm not getting the best first 3s on Bet365, and I'm ready to open up a book.
I mean, they're all over the place. Like Heritage has way better lines for some things. Caesars weirdly has better lines for some things. Like this is -161 at Heritage. It's 135 at Caesars right now. So the first 3 lines can tend to be, all over. I'm sure I should add on Bet365 to my glancing here.
I don't know. They'd never give you good stuff on it, but we'll but keep going. And this will be something we'll bring up again. But take it away here for us, Pete. Tigers Mets.
Yeah, I mean, I agree with you. Definitely leaning Detroit and the under. Mize, not a lock believer in him, but willing to bet on him as a dog believer in him. His last 3 spring appearances were good. Hauser, a little hard to get a read on in spring, right? He is kind of doing an old school thing where he's not going for strikeouts. He's going for grounders, which is, analytically probably not the smartest thing you can do. But I also think it's not the stupidest thing you can do either, especially depending on the pitcher that you're dealing with. So Hauser, I think, might be okay at times. He'll probably get crushed at times as well when his, sinkers and stuff aren't and his sliders aren't working. But the Mets are pretty bad offensively, and I sort of have them etched in as that until further notice. So I haven't bet it yet. It is pretty rainy. Lean under, and definitely Detroit first 3, first 5, like that.
Yeah, and this game probably won't go, but I just – due diligence I want to do for these games this year because I felt like I left money on the table last year. Take it away, Jose. We're in Queens, New York, City Field. Take it away.
Yeah, this was a pass stay off game for me. I don't know what to expect from either of these pitchers, honestly. I'm glad that you have a good read on them because I don't. I don't know what to expect from Mize. He's kind of battling for a spot in this rotation, seemingly enough, and I'll be interested to see how he does. And I don't know what to do with Hauser and the Mets. I never know what to do with the Mets. I think they should be better than they are, but that's like every Mets fan ever, I guess. So, yeah, no action for me here as well.
I think Casey Mize is going to be really good this year. Big Show saying it's Mize and Screwball season. I think he's going to be really good this year, and I think that we can get ahead of the market backing him. Getting ahead of the market is what we did with Garrett Crochet. Let's roll into the next spot on the board. We did that last week with Garrett Crochet. I'm a big believer in Garrett Crochet. And here I'm on the White Sox first 3 at +140. And it's my last – I've only moved on 2 spots before I got here. And it's a spot I really, really like. We're Guaranteed Rate Field in Chicago, Illinois, home of the 0-4 White Sox. All 4 games have been played at home. Braves 3-1. And they're a juggernaut. Look, you want to cut the game down as low as possible when you face the Braves or you bet against the Braves. And if you bet against the Braves, you want to bet against Ronaldo Lopez. Now he has some good stuff, and he just hasn't been able to put it together. Last year, he played for the White Sox, played for the Angels, played for the Guardians. 24 earned runs over 66. He wasn't that bad. He got better as he got passed around. 83 strikeouts in 66 innings. In the spring, he was pretty good. Now, he allowed 4 home runs. That's always been his problem. He allows jacks. 4 home runs over 60 and 2/3. Those were all solo shots. Those were the only runs he allowed all spring. 13 Ks, 6 walks. He only allowed 10 hits, and 4 of them were jacks. Billy Friedrich says this is the worst White Sox team I've seen in the last 30 years, and Joe Yeager says it's going to rain all day here, so maybe this is another mistake. 92% chance of rain throughout the day, so maybe this game is just a waste of our time talking about it. At Swish here, they think this game goes. So, but you're hearing from Joe, but Swish says come 7 o'clock, this game goes. The wind's blowing out 13.5 miles per hour to left field. That's going to hurt Ronaldo Lopez a lot more than it hurts Crochet, in my estimation. From a total standpoint, you have 33% of the tickets and 82% of cash on the under. We have no money line information here. And look, Crochet was excellent in that opening day loss against the Tigers. Now, maybe shutting down the Tigers, nothing to be said. 8 strikeouts over 6 innings. There's a reason why he was the opening day starter. This spring, he was excellent. 14 strikeouts over 12 and 2/3, just 1 walk. He allowed 3 home runs over 12 and 2/3, 1 home run. Look, I think I have a real advantage here on the bump, and I'm going to cut it down to 3 innings. I need 1 jack off of Lopez. I need Crochet to get through the lineup 1 time, and I get a big money line spot. So that's me. Jose, take it away. Braves, White Sox, a guaranteed rate.
Yeah, if you're going to bet the White Sox, that's the way to do it. However, I think the actual opposite here for Crochet. I think he's going to be bet on the entire year, but I'm a little worried about him today. So here's the thing. As a Ute, I don't know how old Garrett Crochet is, but I'm going to guess we're around the same age. When one of us, do something well, start to feel ourselves, feel ourselves. We walk around with a bigger chest, thinks our big dick's bigger than it is, blah, blah, blah. And I'm a little worried that after that start against the Tigers, that Crochet is going to be like, fuck yeah, man. I'm the shit. I'm a starter here now. I can do this in Major League Baseball, and just, sit back on his laurels and not do what you have to do in between starts, whatever the fuck that is.
When Ronald Acuna steps in the batter's box, you think Crochet's going to be big dicking around?
I think there's a chance that he's going to think he's a big dick. I think he's going to try to throw his fastball, and I think that he's just going to get touched up by the Braves here and have a reality check.
Maybe he gets touched up and has a reality check, but Acuna walks into that circle, and you're 24 years old.
And he thinks he's going to think, I belong here. I can just throw my shit by these guys. I believe in it. And I think the Braves are not going to be the team that you can just throw your shit by like the Tigers. And I think that this is a spot where he could get touched up. Now, I mean, fuck, it's easy to say that the Braves are fucking minus 210 here. So I'm not fucking going out on a limb saying anything very, like declarative or dramatic here. But I'm off this game just because I think that there's a chance that Crochet could feel himself a little bit too much. Didn't do the work between starts. Struggles here. And I wouldn't be surprised at all if Reynaldo Lopez, on the exact opposite side of the mental spectrum, this fucking guy battled for that 5th spot in the whole spring training. It was him and Elder. He won the job. And now it's the spot. I have to pitch to keep my career going. If I want to be a starter, I have to pitch well here. He's pitched at Chicago before, a place he's been comfortable there. Revenge start, whatever. I don't really believe in revenge starts in this aspect, but I think that he'll be comfortable, and I think he wants to go out there and pitch really well because he has to keep doing it for his job. So, again, not very fucking, authoritative declarative statements. I think the Braves win this game. That's not a hot take, but it's just not a game that I bet here. And I do wish you luck because if I'm going to bet the White Sox, it's going to be his first 3 to try to get in and out as fast as possible. So if I'm going to do it, I'd do it the way you're going to do it, but I'm off this game.
No, I thought that the Braves were the perfect team for Crochet to stay in his head, stay in his shoes. So I thought I thought that having the most dangerous offense other than the Dodgers coming to your ballpark means you do your work and you stay diligent.
Yeah, it's going to be a mental test for sure.
But it's fun. And every single person in the chat saying Crochet's going to get lit up, Crochet's going to get hit. I like that. That makes, this my ROI works in this situation. Take it away, Pete, Braves, White Sox.
Yeah, by the way, Crochet is going to be 25 on June 21st, so that means he's right on the border. Oh, he's almost a Gemini, and Geminis, as we know, have high volatility, which maybe that happens to him here as well. The question is how much of that was for real or not in his start. I think it's his slider looks great, right? Grade's very high. Fastball a little bit less so. His height adjusted vertical attack angle is just 0.8, and his induced vertical break is 14. So if you want to bet your money on someone with a 14 induced vertical break, go ahead. I'm not going to against the Braves. And his control seems to be better in spring. It was good, and that was something they were trying to work on. So I think the jury is still out. If he strings together a few dominant starts, I think he's definitely going to be overvalued. Could have a dominant slider. I don't think his fastball is going to turn out to be great. And I think he will be vulnerable against tough hitting teams. But at this point in the season, I don't want to bet against him, especially not at this line. So it's a pass for me. I hope everyone who bets on this game cashes. I don't know what to make of it. Crochet is very interesting, though, from an analytics perspective.
Agreed. And by the way, Pete, to back up your Gemini point, Nasty Nate, a Gemini.
There you go. Exactly. Nasty Nate. Sometimes it's a great guy. Sometimes it's fucking dick face. Classic Gemini.
Just don't drink water.
Again, Jim is like, can we just stop with the jokes and analyze, get on, make a brisk case here? Yes, we can.
7:40 p.m. Eastern. Next up for us, Colorado Rockies 1-4 for 5 games they played thus far, all away from Denver, Colorado, where Sun Dizzle just moved. Sun Dizzle is now living in Denver, Colorado, getting married and living in Denver, Colorado.
Wow, what?
Getting his green card here in a minute, so you'll see him at comedy clubs. All over there.
It's Sonny, as someone that had to get his green card once upon a time, good fucking luck getting your citizenship after that, my man. Good fucking luck. It's going to take you fucking 10 years. It's a bunch of circles, and when it happens, God bless you.
At the Chicago Cubs, 2-2, 1-0 at home at Wrigley Field in Chicago, Illinois. Here again, I know that everyone talking about this 92% chance of rain, all that, going to rain all day. Swish Analytics says this game is a go, and it's going to be raining at night. I'm going to pull up weather report as well, but that's what's saying. We have Kyle Freeland versus Javier Assad. We'll start with the total on this one. This total opened up at 7, and it's now at 8. We've gone up a full run. When we get to the money line here, and Steve G saying fading the Rockies all season, 4-1 record so far, up 3 units.
Respect. Then
we have the money line from a money line standpoint. This one, we have the Cubs at minus 180. They opened up in now minus 182. They opened up at minus 197 and went down to minus 174. That's a 25-cent move against them. Now it's at 15 cents, but still a move against your Chicago Cubs. When we get to the cash flow then for this Cubbies spot, we have 40% of the tickets and 54% of the cash on the under. We see it moving towards the over. And then we have 89% of the tickets and 77% of cash on your Chicago Cubs. Smoking Tree says Cubs first 5 minus half, easy money, trust. From our guy, Smoking Tree, Scotty Rock. So Kyle Freeland, 6-14, 5.03 ERA, 1.47 WHIP. He was bad last year. 94 Ks and 42 walks. Now, he did have some good starts at times. In his first start this year, it was abysmal. 2 1/3, 10 hits, 10 runs, 2 Ks, 1 walk, 1 homer, and a 61 loss to Arizona. This spring, he was pretty good. 19 innings, he allowed 5 earned runs with 16 Ks and 3 walks. Javier Assad looked very good at times last year. 3.05 ERA, 1.23 WHIP, 94 Ks and 109 in the third, 94 Ks, 41 walks, not the K to walk ratio you're probably hoping for. And this spring, he got touched up. He didn't look great. Allowed 17 hits over 12 2/3. He allowed 9 earned runs, 10 Ks, 5 walks. So we start with Pete. And Jose, if you could get the Cubs numbers versus lefties and your thoughts about them versus lefties this season compared to last season, I would love to hear that. But Pete, get us started here. Rockies, Cubbies at Wrigley Field.
Yeah, I mean, the big question is Freeland. Obviously, he got crushed in his first start. That's not what he is going forward. He had a nice spring. His changeup was kind of messed up in his last start, so I expect him to be at least mediocre going forward. Question is, Colorado's kind of not a good team in general. Assad is an impressive guy. I think he outperforms his stuff. He had kind of an iffy spring, but I agree that he's kind of reliable and isn't going to get crushed too often. Will usually compete and be in there with you. So and yeah, it is. From what I'm seeing from the weather report, the game it might be delayed, but it's gonna go.
Both games in Chicago are going.
Yeah. So my leans were under, and the lean in my head was Colorado at the big dog line first 3 or first 5, just because I think that Freeland is in a bounce back spot. And again, if he is Assad is an impressive guy, but not lights out. So I was thinking about Colorado first 3 or first 5 and under. Haven't bet either of them. I'm not sure what to think. Someone in the comment section was saying that Freeland's going to get crushed. Not sure why that would be. And as usual, when you have a pitcher as a big dog who you think is going to bounce back, that can be a very fool's gold kind of thing if you're betting with a bad team backing him. So, because a lot of times he will have a better start and they'll still lose, So I'm gonna pass, I guess. Lean under, though.
I would like to back with D-Rock that Freeland bounces back, but I think you nailed it. Like, he could bounce back and they still lose. Jose, take it away, Rockies Cubs.
Yeah, easy pass for me here as well. I will tell you that the Cubs last year against lefties, 110 weighted runs created plus, 10th best, right behind the Blue Jays and in front of the Phillies. Cody Bellinger was their best hitter against lefties last year. So again, prop players, if you're interested in that, 164 weighted runs created plus, a 337 average there. Yeah, I just can't get there with either of these games. And I've been saying, pass for a lot of these early games. I'll start getting involved here very shortly. But I didn't want to get into this game either. I don't trust the Rockies, obviously, for like a dog bet. And I don't want to bet run lines this year. So it's been an easy pass here for me. But that under is semi-appealing, like you guys have mentioned. I can go over the numbers one more time for the people that didn't hear them real quick. The under here, 60% of the bets and 46% of the money on the over in this game. So that's again, semi-appealing. And like you mentioned here, as I have to refresh my site real quick for the total went from 7. Oh, no. Well, this has to be wrong because my site says it opened up at 7. Very interesting enough. No, I mean, I don't know. Did it open up at 7 and went all the way up to 8?
FanDuel had 7, yes. But they're using like a FanDuel opener.
Yeah.
Okay. Like an early opener.
Yeah, that's interesting. So yeah, went from 7 all the way to 8. So I don't know. It's a tough game for me. I passed, like I said, but I don't trust Kyle Freeland.
Very interested about this next spot. Jose will be getting us started here. Toronto Blue Jays 2-3, all 5 games played away from the Rogers Center, the Sky Dome. Houston Astros 1-4, started at 1-4, got their first win of the season last night in no hitting form. Minute Maid Park in Houston, Texas. We have Jose Barrios, 11-12, 3.65 ERA, 1.19 WHIP, 189 2/3, 184 Ks, 52 walks. His first start was very nice. 6 innings, 6 hits, 2 earned runs, 6 Ks, 1 walk, and a homer in an 8-2 win at Tampa on opening day. He was very good in the spring. He was very good last year. He had that horrible season after he signed the big contract and came to Canada. I think there's excuses for all of this. 2 earned runs in the spring, didn't allow a home run, did allow 1 home run against the Rays, but he seems locked in. Framber Valdez on the other side, 12-11, 3.45 ERA, 1.13 WHIP. He was very, very good last year, 200 strikeouts in 198 innings. In his first start, it was my lone loss on opening day, 5-1. I had the Astros -1. First start, he went 4 2/3, 5 hits, 3 earned runs, 5 K, 6 walks, and 5-4 loss at home to the Yankees. This spring, he didn't look good, but he's a bulldog, and I wouldn't ask too much of him in the spring. I mean, you tell me when you're ready, and I won't talk back. So let's go into the line history here for this one. Houston opens up at -148, and now -147. Then from a total standpoint, this opened up at 9. It's now at 8.5. And then the all-important cash flow for this game, we have 91% of the tickets on the under, no cash information, but 78% of tickets and 88% of cash on the Houston Astros makes me want to bet the Toronto Blue Jays. Jose, take it away. Blue Jays, Astros. And if we were betting this on the Blue Jays, is there a something that's more appealing, a first 5 rather than a full game? Would you want to cut the game down, or do you want the bullpen?
I was hoping you'd tell me that. Shit, because I want to be on the Blue Jays here as well. They pulled my pants down yesterday, exposed me to the world in my worst bet of the year so far. I had Blue Jays first 5 and full game as well yesterday, so that hurt right in the face. But I mean, I'll just keep saying, I just don't think this Astros team is going to be as good as we all think this year. They're showing cracks. The management, general manager, I don't have faith in. And I love Framber Valdez, but he just didn't pitch that great to start off the season. 6 innings, or no, it was him. That's 4 2/3, 5 hits, 3 earned runs, 6 walks. Now, I could easily see him bouncing back here. And honestly, I should probably be on a first 5 under in this game because I do think Barrios can pitch well. And I'm just a little worried about how Framber pitches. But I lean very, very hard to the Blue Jays here. I'm going to add the Blue Jays. I was going to gauge from you guys to see which we like better, first 5 and full game here. Now, from my experience with betting the Yankees here against them, the Astros bullpen has just not been that great. But this Astros bullpen was still projected to be one of the best bullpens in baseball, and it's scary to go up against it, and I'll say this again, they spent a dickload of money on Josh Hader. I just don't think it's worth that much money on a big money closer like that. That is not, I don't know, not that great. He's really good, but I still don't feel that ultra confident with Hader on the mound. I'll be honest. Ryan Presley's an old man, and Abreu probably should be their closer right now on the cheap. But yeah, I lean under in this game. I'm probably going to be on the Blue Jays. I just have to decide what I want to take, and I think I'm going to go full game. And that's a mistake I made yesterday. I didn't know yesterday what to do, first 5 or full game, so I just took both, and then I obviously got fucking bottom mouth there. So I think I'll be on Blue Jays full game here again, and just hope that I don't get embarrassed yet again.
The not taking full games and getting cute with first 5s blew up my face, and I said I wouldn't do it anymore. And I still want to. Let's hear Pete's breakdown. I'm all ears, Pete. Jays, Astros.
Yeah, I mean, I think it's I don't love fading Valdez off of a crappy start. He also had kind of a not good spring. It's got to be Toronto or nothing, and I will bet it. Barrios. Nice 6-inning first start to the season. In general, in his career, he's a guy who has done pretty well, first 3 innings, and then innings 4, 5, and 6. Sometimes the wheels come off. That's correct, Jimmy the Bag, right? I mean, I'm just sort of throwing that out there. I don't have any stats to quote, but in your experience, that's correct, right?
Sorry, say that exactly again so I can hear.
First 3 innings, Barrios is pretty good, and then 4th, 5th, and 6th starts to get. Maybe that was just last year, but he starts to stink it up a little bit. Tends to, as the game goes on. I mean, I can check the stats right now, but so I was, Toronto first 3, first 5 full game, one way or another. Definitely leaning that way, and maybe Toronto team total over.
Troy Torrance saying, where is it? Saying, in my opinion, you can't bet the Jays in this game. Troy, can you expand on that here? I'm okay getting off this spot here. I do think that there's not right. I do think that the idea that Barrios is capable of bouncing back, like Strategic Investments is saying, bounce back situation, should be very motivated after losing his first start. It does make sense. Again, we have Mikey Money saying that 13-0 to the over when Barrios is a dog. This is tough baseball. I thought it was a little easier until we talked it out. I don't know.
It's a tough game. I'm going to be on the Blue Jays officially here, full game. It's going to be scary. I'm going to just fade the Astros here and see how it rolls with me again here. I'm on them full game plus 137.
Yeah, and it's gonna be scary, but I'm gonna take the Jays. I'm gonna take first 5. The pinnacle line is plus 138, so I'm gonna take the Jays first 5 plus 138.
Jimmy, if his first 5 cashes and my full game doesn't cash, you'll be finding me tomorrow hanging from a noose. I will be extremely nonplussed.
Well, I don't mean to make it worse for you, but I'm leaning in that Jays first 5 direction as well. I think that when it comes down to these lineups, and I know that you're saying that this Astros lineup doesn't scare you, but I mean, Heiner Falefa, Kiermaier turning the lineup over. I just
is Bo playing today?
Sorry,
is Bo Bichette playing today?
We're hoping that he's playing.
Yeah, we are, because that was part of the reason I bet the Blue Jays yesterday, expecting that he slept on his neck correctly and not fucked himself up, and hope that he would be playing. But no, he did not at all. So
I'll tell you though, Jimmy the Bag, people are talking about this. C-word Davis Pick says, I watch these two teams a lot and I will go with the Astros. I don't like to see that. And then Bo Jackson says Barrios has never won against the AL West on the road since a Blue Jay. BJ says Astros are nothing. I wouldn't fuck with the Jays in this spot. Top set fading you all. I don't know, fading us. Agreeing with people in the comments section.
But top set all over the Astros here.
-1.5, 2.5. Oh God, this is gonna be disgusting.
Maybe, you know what? I don't need to force the issue here at this time of year. Troy Torn says, first thing I wanted to bet today was the Jays, but when you start looking at how this market performs, surprisingly, the home team hammers.
Yeah. All right. Well, I'll stick with my first 5 just because it's off a no-hitter, but probably a bad pick.
I'll change. I'll go with the first 5 with you guys. I'll join you. No, okay. You know what? Fine, Jimmy. I'm off the game. I just won't bet it. It's all right. I'm gonna be pissed off either way. If I win this bet, I'll still be a little angry.
You're gonna be pissed off either way. You've just
so I'm off. Okay. I'm off. Yeah, this is a stupid game. It's definitely a waffle, Mike. It's 100% a waffle. I'm sorry.
Our first Jose Bouquet waffle.
Yeah.
Okay. Interesting. Yeah. And the waffle is Jay's full game. So
full game. And I'm gonna be furious when it's like 0-0 first 5, and then the Jays score late and win this game off of Hader. I'm gonna be so angry, but it's okay. I'm off.
All right, let's roll on to the next spot on the board. Gosh, my card is not coming together. Yeah. Now, we have come to our first gift of the season. No play from our low bag chat has ever hit at the rate that the gift has. And we'll go over what the gift numbers are over the last 2 years. I don't have them right in front of me. I could grab them, but we'll go over that here. And the first gift, Boston Red Sox -1 at -117. Boston Red Sox 3-2 all 5 games played away from Boston. At the Oakland Athletics, who are 1-4 to start the year. All games played at Oakland Coliseum in Oakland, California. Let's get into the weather here in Oakland to get this started. I don't know what the hell here we go. Let's get the weather in Oakland to get this started. We have 60 Fahrenheit, so it's a little warmer at first pitch than it has been. 8.9 miles per hour to right field, stays between 8.9 and 8.4 miles per hour. Brian Bayo going up against Alex Wood. Mally Mal saying raining here crazy in New York City. So let's get into this here. We have, from a line history standpoint, with the first gift of the year in, we have the Red Sox sitting at -142 at Pinnacle. -142. They opened up at -138. They got up to -153 at 11 a.m. Then there was a 15-cent move back towards the A's. Right now, we have a 4-cent move overall towards the Boston Red Sox. From a total standpoint here, we have this 8 at -115 to the over. It opened up at 8. It got up to 8.5 for an hour. Excuse me, for 2 hours. It was 8.5 for 2 hours, back at 8. Let's get into the cash flow then for this A's Red Sox spot. We have 25% of the tickets and 61% of the cash on the under. So Jose, you're second in this. So can you get the expectations on the Red Sox lineup against lefties ready to go for your breakdown? And thank you. 95% of tickets and 98% of the cash on the Boston Red Sox. My guy in the chat says Red Sox all day. So Robert Franklin on Red Sox run line. Top set looking at Boston team total over. And Matty Ice says, we didn't track it, but Taint hit 14 straight ones. I remember that. I do very much remember that. So let's go. Brian Bayo, 12-11, 4.24 ERA, 1.34 whip last year. Showed the signs that he could possibly be this great ace coming up for the Red Sox. In his first start of the year, he looked very good. 5 innings, 5 hits, 2 earned runs, 2 Ks, no walks, 1 homer, and a 4-2 win over the Mariners in Seattle. This spring, he got everything that we wanted out of him. He allowed 1 home run over 18 in the third. I mean, I don't care as much about the 8 earned runs. I like the 18 Ks, and he looked ready to go. Alex Wood's first start was not good. It was an 8-0 loss at home to the Guardians. Last year, he looked good at times. He demanded more opportunities, and Kapler wasn't giving them to him at Oracle. And now he's on the Oakland Athletics. In the spring, he looked great. 13 Ks and 1 walk. He allowed 6 earned runs over 11 in the third, but I'd be fine with that. The problem was he allowed 4 home runs of those 6 earned runs. So he was allowing the long ball. Pete, speaking of long balls, the floor is yours.
There you go, Jim. Yeah, this is a tough one. I think Oakland might just be one of these teams, at least to start the year, where like you pretty much want to auto fade them unless they're getting a massive dog line. And, as the season develops and matures, you can start to, the things might change around. At some point, Oakland's going to have value as a big home dog. But, yeah, I can't pull the trigger here. I didn't look into the rosters close enough to figure out if Boston is a good play. I just kind of glanced at it. It's like, I'm going to pass. But my stats said lean over, nothing on the side. And if people are loving Boston here, that's probably the right play. Leaning over as well. Alex Wood, yeah, giving up home runs. You can't do that in the majors. Boston should be able to take advantage of it. Bayo, decent first start of the season. Had control issues in the spring. You shouldn't have that. But, yeah, I think I'm going to pass. But Boston's probably the right play. And I will probably tail that with my money, but not add it to my official record.
Yeah, I think that's a sound feelings on the game. I want to roll with the gift, but this is a very public spot that's obviously he's been very successful with fading the A's on the -1 line this year. Jose, take it away. Your thoughts on the Red Sox, your thoughts on the Red Sox getting Alex Wood and against lefties in general.
Yeah. First of all, I am still not betting the Red Sox. I am hand up, very happy to say that I am Red Sox betless throughout this whole season. Now they're playing really well, which is kind of surprising, but yeah, it's the most public spot on the board, but I get it. -1s don't cash for me, but I can easily see this cashing for you guys. It's just hard to bet on a team or bet against a team that just lost 10-0. It's just like, blowout factor. They've got to come back and show some kind of backbone. But yeah, no action for me. The Red Sox are super lefty heavy. Which has been a concern for the last year or so. All their best hitters are lefties, which makes, playing lefties always challenging. And the issue this offseason, or one of the things this offseason they were trying to do is get more righty or another righty outfielder bat. And that's why Tyler O'Neill is on the team now. But it's just worrisome. Like, let's just go through the lefties on this team. Rafael Devers, lefty. Tristan Casas, lefty. Yoshida, lefty. Duran's been playing amazing, lefty. So that's the main concern of why if I was betting the Red Sox, I would be worried to see how they do against them this year. Now, let's bring up good old Alex Wood's splits against lefty righties to see at least if there's a big difference there. 244 average against lefties. It's okay, I guess. 290 OBP is compared to a 255 average against righties with 320 on base percentage there and a 402 slugging. So yeah, I definitely would rather be a righty against them. So I obviously I pass. I'm not betting the Red Sox this year. I like your bet though, TJ, and if I was, I'd be betting that as well.
And Casas is part of that underwhelming 2018 draft that Casey Mize was first overall pick in. Still a long way to go. Justin McKelvey says, I'm tailing gift, period. Look, that makes sense. Troy Torrance moving on the Red Sox -1 and the Oakland team total under.
Agreed. I also don't hate Robert Franklin's Alex Wood over 2.5 earned runs. I like that as well. But yeah, no, I agree with all the Red Sox looks here. I'm not allowed to bet them.
Let's roll on. 9:40 p.m. Eastern, the Cleveland Guardians 3-2, all 5 games taking place outside of Cleveland, Ohio, against the Mariners, who've started all 5 of their games at T-Mobile Park in Seattle, Washington. They've gone 3-2 over this opening stretch. What a call you had on Bieber opening day. Now, we didn't make money off of it. It was a tough spot. I mean, they were at Oakland, but you called it, Jose, contract year. He was going to be, you say he's going to be really good. He was better than really good. He was spectacular. And Mikey Money, your grandma's wearing your sister's panties again, play of the day. That's when I believe 3 straight is on the Capitals +118. So
that's a good one. That Mike N. Huge shout out to Mike N.
I am going heads up with Mikey and his strange family.
Happens often. His grandma is wearing his mom's panties again and again and again.
It's not his mom's.
Oh, sorry.
That would be more sensical. Let's go with Bieber. First start was a thing of beauty. 6 innings, no one runs, 11 Ks, and 1 walk, and an 8-0 win at Oakland. He was good last year until he got hurt. Now, when's he going to be wearing pinstripes? 17 2/3 in the spring. He was electric. 3 earned runs, didn't allow a homer, 19 Ks, 7 walks. Oh God, that's what he always tells me too. Is that is okay? I don't want to talk about it. I just okay.
That's DJ Big Boss-esque.
Yes, it is Big Boss-esque. These guys, they would okay. Let's just stay focused. Castillo 3.34 ERA, 1.10 WHIP, 197 innings, 219 strikeouts, and 56 walks. In his first start, he didn't look that good. 5 innings, 6 hits, 4 earned runs, 5 Ks, 2 walks. He went up against Bayo. He lost the battle. He was very good in the spring. Is this the spot to? I don't know. Let's just get into line history and hear what you guys break down. These are tough games. My card is not coming together. The Mariners opened up -114. They're now -115. A 1 cent move towards the Seattle Mariners. From a total standpoint here, we have the total at 7. It's -117 to the over. This opened up at 7 at -115 to the over. It's actually now -116. So there's just been almost no movement on either side of the total and the money line. From a cash flow perspective here, you have 75% of the tickets on the under 7. You have 62% of the tickets and 99% of the cash on the Cleveland Guardians. 99% of the cash on the Cleveland Guardians. Jose, take it away.
Yeah, the Guardians got me yesterday. I was on them yesterday with McKenzie. He gives up 4 runs in an inning, and that just basically lost them the game there. And they were just chasing the whole game. They made it respectable, but it was quite frustrating. Yeah, maybe this was just. I feel stupid even giving out this bet. It feels so obvious, but I'm on it. I'm on the first 5 under here. I got 4, and I believe I got -115. Yeah, I got 4 -115 for me. I don't know. Maybe I feel like this is similar to your opening day play with Strider and Wheeler. These pitchers are both just really good, and I think they can go out there and pitch well. Castillo coming off of a 4 earned run performance against the Red Sox. I think he's a prime bounce back. But again, I've lost. This will be now the 4th time I'm betting on a Guardians game, I believe, in this early season, and I've lost 3 of the 4 now, or we'll see how the 4th goes, but I've lost all 3 to start off. Both were unders in the Oakland games and then on the Guardians last night. So this will be a very early test to see how I really react to these fucking Guardians again, because if they give me the bottom mouth again, I might just have to just say fuck this team and not bet on their games anymore. But I'm on the first 5 under here.
That Friday morning spot, because the game was postponed on Thursday, the Wheeler Strider spot. I that's like the most confident I feel like I've ever been for a baseball bet. Like I felt like it was such a surety. Here with Castillo and Bieber, you're expecting the Castillo bounce back into Bieber to still keep doing what he's doing. It's moved 5 cents at 365. Let's hear what Pete has to say. Jose's moved on the first 5 under 4 -115. Is this exactly like that Strider? Now, I think Strider and Wheeler are better pitchers than Bieber and Castillo, but Bieber and Castillo are, elite pitchers. What do you think, Pete? Is that first 5 under? Or is that just offering us money?
Because okay, well, first of all,
one of the reasons I'm so confident was because of the 4. Because of the 4, I was so confident that are there going to be 5 runs scored on these superstars who pitched so phenomenal in the spring. So take it away, Pete. Sorry.
First thing, I just cannot not do it. Seattle, first 5, team total under 1.5 plus 114. That's the current line at actually Heritage, I think. Pinnacle has 111, but Heritage has 114. So Seattle, first 5, team total under 1.5 at plus money, plus 114. If it loses, fine. Castillo, we think Jose Bouquet. You think he's okay?
Yeah, I think he's a good pitcher, yes.
First start was, not that great, right?
It was not. No, 4 runs against the Red Sox, who are an average baseball team this year, is not good. But I think there's bounce back potential. I'm part of Jimmy talking about it. These pitchers are less than Strider and Wheeler, but so are these offenses too. That's I've at least I've thought that with the fucking Guardians all year, and they just keep scoring runs and screwing my unders. But man, I just need the Guardians to stop fucking scoring, or else I'm going to live in the upside down world with the Guardians having a good offense. So, yeah, I believe in Castillo here.
You think Castillo's all right? Because if you believe in Castillo, then maybe, first 5 or first 3 under. If you don't necessarily, then, Guardians, first 3 innings plus 0.5 at minus 190. I mean, if Bieber throws 3 shutout innings, you win no matter what, right?
Yes.
So I'm not sure what to do. All right, maybe I'll just for now stick with the best one and not double or triple up, which is that, and Seattle first 5 under 1.5 plus 114.
Let's roll on. Jose on the first 5 under 4 minus 115, which is appealing.
I'd love for this to go down to a 3.5, and then I'll have the confidence you had.
Yeah,
it doesn't seem like it. Does not seem.
All right, you know what, Jim? I'll do it. I'll chuck it on there. This is a Caesars line. Cleveland, first 3 plus 0.5 run minus 190. If it loses, okay.
What was that line again, Pete?
Minus 190.
Minus 190, okay? But if Bieber...
Oh, yeah. Uh-oh. Huh?
Fucking sucker.
Pete was talking the whole time during that, and I was just so curious.
The whole time.
So curious. Okay, yes, we have the run line calculator. Anybody looking to build minus ones where their book doesn't allow it, I'll pull up my minus one. I have ditched it, but
I haven't pulled that up in a while because of my run line record.
So I'll pull that up. Ask him first off. Does anybody need it? Because I'll have to pull it up.
Troy needs it. I'll find it. It's easy to find. Hopefully on my fucking thing.
We move on. We have 3 games left in MLB, and my card is not coming together. 9:40 p.m. Eastern. We have the New York Yankees undefeated, 5-0, all games away. Oh, thank you, Jose. All 5 games away from the Bronx. At the Arizona Diamondbacks, 3-2. Chase Field in Phoenix, Arizona. I meant to do this already, and I apologize, but let's go to the Diamondbacks roof first and foremost and see if it's
rough
open. Diamondbacks roof status. Why is it not? Here we go. Diamondbacks roof status. Give it to me. Here we go. And for the roof, today it is open, and tomorrow it is open. Crucial information. Then we have Nestor Cortez going up against Zach Allen. Not only that, but we have the taint play of the day in business here. It is the Arizona Diamondbacks on the money line. Not only do we shout out Matty Ice, but we shout out that little flap of skin. Get into the line history here.
That's the jam right there.
It is nice. It is nice. We have a 9 here. Now the over opened up at plus 105. There's been a 7-cent move towards that over. It is now minus 102. 7-cent move towards the over. Then from a money line standpoint, we have, as aforementioned, minus 115. This opened up at minus 118 at Pinnacle, It's now minus 115. So we've still had a 3-cent move towards these New York Yankees. Then when we have from a cash flow perspective, here we go. Sorry. From a cash flow look, we have this sitting at, come on, show me. We have 79% of the tickets on the over. We've seen a 7-cent move to the over. It's still juiced to the under at 9. And then we have 57% of the tickets and 96% of the cash on the Arizona Diamondbacks. 57% of tickets, 96% cash, but the line's not moving towards them. Nestor Cortez did not look good in his first start. Now, it was a 5-4 win at Houston. He went 5 innings, led 5 hits, 4 earned runs, 5 Ks, 2 walks, 1 homer. We talked about him looking susceptible in the spring. Now, Zach Gallen doesn't need to do much in the spring. You don't ask much. He allowed 4 runs over 9 innings. Did what he needed to do. In his first start, it was a 16-1 win at home over the Rockies. 5 innings, 3 hits, 1 earned run, 3 Ks, 2 walks. Didn't need to put too much pressure on his arm. He was spectacular last year, and here he goes. Pistol Pete, we start with you. Can Zach Gallen and the Arizona Diamondbacks stop this Yankees undefeated start to the season?
Yeah, Cortez, spring was not that good. I was a little bit down on him, but Gallen, first start was nice. Spring was a little bit dicey though, and I was a little bit down on Gallen. I was a little bit. I'm not sure what to make of him this year. He might, improve, but as of right now, it's wait and see with him. But if Matty Ice loves Arizona, then there's no way I'm going to bet the Yankees. Maybe I'd be leaning over though. I don't know. I kind of like Cortez to get hit. Don't really trust Gallen here. Leaning over, and no, for real. If the tank play of the day is Arizona, there's no way in hell I'm betting the Yankees.
Agreed.
I just kind of down on. I'm very nervous about betting on Zach Gallen to start the year.
Let's hear what Jose has to say. I can't wait. Yankees Diamondbacks. This is a fascinating cap.
Yeah, I'll be honest here. The first thing I wrote down on my notes when writing down this game was Diamondbacks. The Diamondbacks, they're a good squad, obviously. And I think the Yankees are going to be good this year. Pete, you probably don't know this. I've been the main voice for the voiceless. I've been the Yankees guru here. I bet the Yankees I bet the Yankees a shitload this year. I think they're going to be. Wow. I'm going to make the World Series. I hate saying that. It's disgusting. I'm going to be crawled up with you going to Yankees games.
Oh, very nice.
It's going to be disgusting. But
yeah,
I want to bet them here again so badly, just on the market. So badly. I've said this many times now. I have a list of pitchers a la Sharpie that I'm looking and I'm trying to bet on. I also wrote down some that I want to fade this year. Nestor Cortez was on that fade list. I wanted to fade him so badly. And, I stayed off of the first game of the season because I thought, Nestor maybe gets touched up. Pitched okay, didn't pitch too badly. Well, to my expectations for Nestor, 5 innings, 4 earned runs is not good, but the Yankees still ended up winning that game. I've been back and forth, and it's just disgusting. I want to bet the Yankees here again, honestly. I think that market is just really interesting and weird. Like the markets today have been all weird today, and I think today's been very tricky betting wise. But all of that money on the Yankees or all that money on the Diamondbacks, and it moved down, and now it's crawled right back up to the minus 118-ish what it was earlier, and I just don't know what to do with it. It's been a tough spot for me here, and if I'm being honest, I think I'm going to move on the Yankees again. I'll go up against Taint, and it never feels good going up against Taint. But, yeah, I think I'm going to be on the Yanks once again.
So we have a couple questions from the chat, and I think I know the answer, but the Jew saying, and it's sort of directed to you, Peter. It says, how do you not trust Gallen pitching at home? And I think I know the answer, but why don't you reveal
just because some again, just sort of anecdotal spring training stuff. Not that I've had some horrible reads on some pitchers and teams of baseball, but Gallen's a guy who I have had a pretty good read on in general in his career. Not every time, but in general, I've been I've usually bet on him when he's doing well, and been able to figure out when not to bet on him or when to fade on him. I'm not saying I'm fading him right now, but I'm not at many points in his career he was an auto play for me, especially at home. But now that is not the case. And I might be wrong. I'm just telling you what I'm thinking. Go ahead.
21% of the tickets are on the under. 21, and this has gone. Some books had an 8.5 opener, but it's the 9 that opened at Pinnacle was a plus money proposition to the over. It's 7 cents of movement towards the over. If you feel like Gallen is vulnerable and Jose, you're backing the Yankees and feel like Cortez is vulnerable, why have neither of you guys landed on the over?
Oh, that was my lean for sure.
Yeah, no, I definitely considered it. I was looking at a team total over for the Yankees just so I don't have to worry about Cortez as well. But yeah, I mean, the over probably should be the move here of all these things. I was trying to decide if I wanted to bet the Yankees full game, team total, but yeah, I'm rooting for runs might just be the move here as well.
Well, all right, you know what, Jim? I'll take Arizona team total over 4.5 plus 104 current line at Pinnacle.
Sorry. So Pete, you're on
a team total over 4.5 plus 104 current line Pinnacle.
Arizona team total over 4.5, and that was minus 119. Sorry, I'm thinking about my own action. What was the juice on that? Sorry, Pete. What was the juice on that? One more time.
Plus 104.
104. My apologies there, and then TJ says he's on the under, expects 2 good outings in the minority here. You're not in the minority ticket count wise. Ticket wise here, you are. Oh wait, what am I talking about? I said that wrong. 79% of tickets are on the over. My bad. I'm so sorry. So back to that. 79% of tickets are on the over. So TJ's right. 21% of the tickets are on the under. And it's moving towards the over because the public is betting the over. My bad. I said that wrong, and I apologize. It's crucial information. Okay,
Seaward Davis Pick says that Felipe and the boys were on the over as well, but Nestor does get. I was thinking about the team total, the first 5 team total over 2.5. I'll just take the full game team total over.
You didn't finish that. He gets almond joyed tonight.
Almond joyed.
And that's a term that I've never heard of before.
I'm immediately interested.
For that, I think so. I'm going to not say it. Yeah.
We move on.
Oh, real quick, I'm going to be on Yankees officially full game money line here. I've just decided. So.
Okay, so we have Pete on the Diamondbacks team total over. Jose is going to be on the Yankees
plus
money
104.
Line. Plus 104. Wow. It's just fascinating a spot here. I feel like I'm just sitting on the fence. Okay. I find I in my head I said the numbers wrong. I thought that the public was on the under and yet it was moving towards the over. That's not the case. The public's on the over and the line's now moving towards the over, so that takes a bit of the appeal away. Okay, let's move on. Jose's getting us started here at 9:40 p.m. Eastern with the St. Louis Cardinals 2-3 all 5 games played away from Busch. At San Diego Padres 3-4, 2-4 at home. We're at Petco Park in San Diego, California. Let's get to the weather here for this one at Petco. And we cashed with you, Darvish, first 5 just recently. In his last start. 63 Fahrenheit at first pitch, 8.3 miles per hour in, stays between 8.3 and 7.1, but it does slowly die off as the game goes on. Let's get to the money line here for this one. From a money line perspective, you have you, Darvish, at minus 128. As was the case earlier this morning, this line's moving towards the St. Louis Cardinals. The Padres have gone from minus 138 to minus 128. From a total perspective here, we are sitting with a 8. There are 7.5s on the board. This opened up at 7.5 minus 110 to the over and moved to 8 after 45 minutes. Then it got back to 7.5 around 9:30, 10 this morning, and now it's back at 8 again. So we have had a half run move to the over. Let's get to the cash flow then for this spot. We have a 75% of the tickets on the under. We have no cash flow information. We also have 79% of the tickets and 99% of the cash on the Padres, which really throws the brakes on any finding Darvish appealing here, which I do and I did. Michaelis coming off what we've been talking about recently was 2022 the outlier for Michaelis's career, and that's probably the situation. Now, he probably is just around between a 4.16 ERA and 4.78 ERA. I mean, that's probably who he is. In his first start, look against a very dangerous Dodger lineup, he went 4 1/3, allowed 7 hits, 5 earned runs, 5 Ks, 2 walks, and 2 jacks. That just again is probably who Michaelis is. Now, the market right now is believing in Michaelis. Do you want to go up against this market? Matty Ice says you get smacked by St. Louis, especially Nolan. So when I look at what you did last week and you got me paid, and obviously my subconscious is messing with me and it makes me want to listen to others and not talk about my feelings. I think you has looked very strong to start the year. 7 strikeouts and 5 against the Giants last out. I think he's set up for a very good season. So let's go. Jose, Cardinals, Padres, take it away.
Yeah, I just moved on this play. I didn't think I was going to move on it. I only have 2 official plays in so far, so this is a welcome addition. Yeah, you've mentioned it. I think these reverse line movement spots just need to be hit indiscriminately. I know it might be disgusting, but you just have to bet it, and you put it perfectly there. The total of the bets here on the money line for the old St. Louis Cardinals game, 79% of the bets and 99% of the money on the Padres here. And for me personally, I had this game on BetOnline opening up at -135. Now it's -132. Dropped down to -125 at one point as well here. Twice, actually. This came back up. Yeah, I'm just going to take the Cardinals here. I'll take them full game money line here. As Jimmy would say, not fuck around and take the first 5. Just take the full money line and rock and roll and ride with them. I got it +122. And it's not just the market, obviously. Let's just talk about this. The Cardinals obviously got their dicks punched in by the Dodgers, but that's the Dodgers. They're going to be a really good regular season team and then flounder in the playoffs. The Padres, play well in these first couple of days, but I think these teams are probably a little closer than what these lines say they are. I know Michaelis is not good, but I think he could have moments of brilliance here. So I am on the St. Louis Cardinals here, and it's going to be very interesting to see what happens here. And Troy, good notes here, saying the reverse line movement is 3 times more profitable when taking the home team. So, yeah, and in my ideal world, I'd love to be on the home team here with the reverse line movement. But it's just crazy. 99% of the money, and you're still moving towards the Cardinals. It's, as Jimmy now has patented, it's just the books opening up their arms, saying, come on, you Darvish, he's 2-0 first 5, like Dabby Cab said. Come on, bet him. It's better than Miles Michaelis. And yet the Cardinals are the move for me.
And yet I find that a very appealing breakdown. I'm very, very appealing. Let's hear what Pete has to say. Cardinals, Padres.
Okay, very quickly with the Arizona team total, Jim, that I gave 104, but Caesars has 105. But can I take 4 -133? I'd like that to be my official pick, okay?
Oh,
yeah,
brother.
I just changed it.
I'll text it to you. Arizona team total over 4 -133. Yeah, this one, I mean, hold your horses, Jose Bouquet.
I'm not going to hit the button, but I thought about it. I thought about it for sure.
At first glance, obviously, you would think, Darvish. At this line, of course, you bet Darvish. But, now hearing everyone seeing the line moves, I don't know. Still leaning over, although a bunch of, San Diego's has every game gone over so far this year for them at home. So leaning over for sure. And, my first thought was, Darvish. But I'm going to hold off for now for sure. I'm
extremely interested in joining Jose on the Cardinals, and I expect to at this point. Jose, do you think that it makes sense to lock in right now?
Well, it's a good point. We've talked about this before when it comes to betting these things now or later, especially with totals. I think you're right when when you say totals, you've got to bet early because you can drop down to a 3.5 and make you feel shitty about yourself. You could also bet it early and it stay at 4 and feel shitty about yourself that way too. That is what I've done today. But yeah, I think, on money line spots, I think you can wait. But this one, is interesting because it seems like it's going to keep dropping, perhaps. But
if it keeps
if
dropping, we
it's
get
dropping,
even more confidence.
Yeah, you get more confidence betting it. So,
and I think there's a possibility that we make a little bit more cash if we wait. I'm just thinking out loud here, but I plan on joining you with the cards. Let's talk about the final game on the board. Then we've got to move quickly. We have 2 games in NCAA basketball and NBA, and we've got to move quickly. Final game on the board here in MLB, the San Francisco Giants 2-3. All games played away from Oracle at the LA Dodgers 5-2, 4-2 at home, although 2 of those home games. Did they get credited for both those home games in career or just one of them?
I think they split them.
Dodger Stadium in Los Angeles, California. Here we go. From a weather perspective, 63 Fahrenheit, 7 miles per hour to right field. Stays between 7 and 5.7 miles per hour. From a money line standpoint here, we are sitting with Glasnow and the Dodgers at minus 146. Now minus 139. There was 26 minutes ago, there was an 8-cent move away from them. So there's been a move towards the San Francisco Giants. Then
I had different pitchers here, by the way. I had Glasnow last night, and then I don't know who today.
Okay, because Yarbrough is the so there's going to be an opener and then Yarbrough. That makes sense. Okay, that makes sense.
That's why the line move, I guess.
Yeah. So Yarbrough is going to be the primary here in this one, and that's the line move. Perfectly done. Okay, so then cash wise for this spot, we have 67% of tickets on the under, 96% of cash on the Dodgers, and we've seen this line move, towards the Giants. And why wouldn't it? Why wouldn't it move towards Logan Webb? He had a poor spring and then looked very good immediately to start the year. If we have opener and then Yarbrough, can we trust Logan Webb enough? Because I thought that was a really nice performance against the Padres. 6 innings, 5 hits, 2 earned runs, 5 Ks, and 2 walks. Why wouldn't the Giants, either first 3 or first 5, be an appealing look here? Pete, take it away. Final game on the board.
Yeah. In the meantime, Seward Davis picks like in St. Louis to absolutely roll. I capped the hell out of every single game on this card, all 4 sports, except for this one, Jimmy the Bag. So I got nothing on it. Pass.
Jose Bouquet, Giants, Dodgers.
Yeah, I'm just now figuring out it's Yarbrough, so I have to pass here as well. But obviously it's Logan Webb versus someone that's not very good on the Dodgers. So I understand it, but I'll say this, and we said it off the top of the show. I don't have lines for this, I think, as well, by the way. So I don't even know what the line is for this number. But the Dodgers are still 7-0 when it comes to their team total bets this year. So. Maybe you just take your team totals and you just keep walking away laughing. But it's obviously a tough game. I'll say this, Logan Webb, because I think Logan Webb, I know Logan Webb's obviously that dude in San Francisco. And if there's one team you need your ace, especially in this division, to pitch well against, it's the Dodgers. He's pitched against them plenty of times, so we have the history. 7 innings, 8 hits, 2 earned runs, 5 Ks, 2 walks at the Dodgers in a 7-3 win. In a 9-1 loss, 6 innings, 5 hits, 4 runs, only one of them earned on 2 home runs. Both of those starts were in 23, and those were the only 2023 starts that he had against them. Last year, or I guess say the year before that, 4 innings, 7 hits, 4 earned runs, 6 innings, 7 hits, 3 runs, 2 of them earned. So it's not like he gets away like unscathed from this Dodgers lineup, but it doesn't seem like it'll be 5-6. It'll just be like 2-3. So I generally lean over in this game as well, but nothing here for me. Obviously, like I said, I just found out who the pitchers were. So
I'm very, very interested in Giants first 5. I expect to close out my card with the Cardinals full game with Jose, and the Giants first 5 is how I expect. Now, Collins Clips asking for your best bet for the day. Our guy Chang Kim wants to know what our plan is for best bets. He wants to put a move with us for best bets. We can do it now with just MLB and NHL on the board. Jose, are you ready? Or Pete, are you ready for a friends and family type action here? Friends and family for our guy Chang Kim. Jose, you're muted, my man.
Disgusting.
Yeah.
I'll start it, and I think I'll make the parlay at least juicy for everyone, so you guys can take your big dogs. I'll take the Cardinals. I love a reverse line movement spot. It's one of my favorite spots to bet into, obviously. And again, Troy says it 3 times more profitable at home. I'd much rather it be at home. But yeah, I'll take that. And by the way, I did see someone else say that the A's were another, semi-reverse line movement spot there as well. And check that out as well, Chang. I'm not betting Red Sox games. But as Troy says it is 99 whatever percent of the money on the Boston Red Sox, and the line is moved towards the A's, and it's at home. So do with that what you will.
Pistol Pete.
Yeah, I mean, I do like Tate Thompson get a point at -180. A bunch of stuff I'm liking here, but for a parlay, I'll just take Calgary. I think they get a win. You could take -1 at -155 if you want. You can take a money line at -225 or 230 or whatever. I'll say I'll give them the -1 line. No, I'll give them the money line just so that it can't push. Calgary to win.
And I'll be on the Nashville Predators money line as my best bet. That's Cardinals, Flames, Predators, his friends and family. Let's review all action.
I'm gonna add a play here real quick. It's actually. I just kind of talked myself into it. I'm going to take the Oakland A's team total over 3.5, -110. So Bayo, and I actually remember the start pretty well. He's pitched against the A's before, and he had a bad start against them. And it might be one of the reasons why I think Crochet might have a bad start, because I remember this pretty clearly. He had a good start coming into it. And then I think he just got too big in his britches, felt like he was the shit, came in against the A's, and then just got smashed. I'll bring up the 4 innings, 5 hits, 6 runs on 3 home runs there. So I'm again, slightly worried it happens again here, but the A's have seen him pretty well. So yeah, 3.5, I'll just take the over, and hopefully they get 4 and not get too embarrassed there. But the reverse line movement is really why I'm getting into this bet. I mean, like everyone's mentioned here, I saw that obviously the gift's the -1 here, but -160 opener. And then we'll bring up the money here again for the money line splits. Sorry, this is taking a little bit too long, but 96% of the bets and 98% of the money, and it's opened up at a -160 and it's dropped down to -140 now. So that has to be a red screaming flag. And then again, I'll say it for a 4th time, Troy Torrance, 3 times more profitable at home. So,
and what was the juice on the team total over 3.5?
-110. So yeah, and Jay Peasy, they had a shitload of errors yesterday, and that's why I can't take them, money line and stuff. That's concerning. So hopefully we won't have to worry about Alex Wood and his bullshit.
I got you, Kelly. I got you copied and pasted, my guy. Let's review all action here. In MLB, Peter Loshak gets his card started with the Twins first 5 -105. Royals, Orioles, we stay off, but wine time's on the under 8.5 there. BJ's best bet is the Miami Marlins money line, but the 3 of us stayed off that spot. Pete gets his card started with the Reds first 5 +119, and the first 3 under 2.5 at -119 in Cincinnati, Philadelphia, if that game goes. Stacks play today. Randy Arozarena over 1.5 bases at +112. Loshak's on the Rays first 3 at -135. Then first 5 under 4.5 -120 for me in Detroit, New York Mets. That's down to a 4. I'm extremely confident in the spot, although I don't know if the game goes. Then I'm on the White Sox first 3 at +140. Every single person in the chat told me I was going to lose this bet, and it was a mistake. Every single one said that. So let's remember.
Yeah, they called you a fat slob too. They said your bet's horrible. You're a fat slob and you're ugly.
Maybe I remember it differently, but nothing for Rockies Cubs. Loshak's on the Jays first 5 at +138, and Jose Waffle play of the day. Jays full game.
I almost forgot about that Jays game and that Jays breakdown until you just said that. So can't wait.
The first gift of the season delivered by TJ. Boston -1 at -117. Jose has added the A's team total over 3.5. Then Jose's on the first 5 under 4 at -115, and Guardians Mariners. Loshak's on Mariners first 5 team total under 1.5 +114, and Cleveland first 3 +0.5 at -190. I had interest in the under in Yankees Diamondbacks. That's been quelled. Jose's on the Yankees money line +104. Pete's on the Diamondbacks team total over 4 at -133. And the taint play of the day is the Diamondbacks money line -115. Jose's on the Cards at +122, and I really want to join him, and I expect to join him. And then nothing for the Giants-Dodgers game for the squad, but I'm going to be on the Giants first 5. That, my friends, is an MLB breakdown, our first one for Loshak this season. It's going to be wonderful when this is the only sport. But we need to be in the black when that happens, and we got to move on to college basketball. Jose, thank you for rocking with us. Say Hey plays of the day Tuesdays on Loshak in the Bag, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday on Betting with the Bag. Saturday, Sunday, we have Say Hey plays of the day, 11 a.m. here on Pub Sports Radio. Monday, you can catch them on both Medicate Mondays and Last Call. Jose, any last words for the Capper Sporting Show?
No, appreciate you guys that tune into all the shows that I pop on. I appreciate all the names we see over and over again. Shout out to Troy Torrance for giving his database info as well. You know, I love, hearing that shit, and I truly believe in that shit as well. So I love that shit, Troy. And I obviously purposely do not want to bet against that shit either. So Troy, definitely drop that stuff in the chat as always. Pete, it's nice to see you got your mink on. I think you look great. What astrology sign are you, Pete?
I don't really like to talk about it. It's a little embarrassing, so I kind of don't like to tell people.
Sure, yeah, that's classic Libra. But we'll see you guys next time.
All right, my man. There he is, Jose Bouquet. Oh, God, these are important days. We get into college basketball now, so let's set up the semis of the NIT, and let's get to work. Let me make sure I've got it all ready to go. We have 2 games in college basketball. Then we move on to NBA, and we must keep a brisk pace as this show has gone long. So let's get to work here and roll. We start at 7 p.m. Eastern. We've gotten the Utes out of Utah, which makes them a very legitimate fade, and the market has moved towards Indiana State. We already heard from Cappers in our chat that are backing Indiana State. We're at Hinkle Fieldhouse for the semis here. First game, Utah Utes 22-14 versus the Indiana State Sycamores 31-6. The Utes have been playing good basketball. Playing good basketball. Took out UC Irvine, took out Iowa, took out VCU. Real nice when you're playing at home, and they smash teams at home. We know what they do at home. Indiana State also very comfortable. Took out SMU, took out Minnesota, took out Cincinnati. That Cincinnati game was a tight one, a 4-point game. This is to get into the finals here. Let's get into the line history for this one. First, we'll start with the total. We're going to move back. We're going to use Bet Online opening lines. Again, if you're looking for an account, we have a new account deal on Pub Sports Radio, which gives you 100% bonus up to $1,000. And it doesn't have to be Bitcoin. We're one of the few spots that do that. This total at Bet Online opened up at 166. We're down to 162.5, a 3.5 point drop, a big drop here on the total. And when we get to the spread here, we are sitting with a 3.5, which is right where it opened. We're sitting here with Indiana State minus 3.5. Now, this moved to 2.5 into 2. There was a move towards the Utes. No longer. We're right back where we started. But an interesting move. We have U-shaped movement, a 1.5 move. Then when we get to the cash flow for this one, and we've got our guy Ron Walsek in the chat, whom I love dearly, Pete, who's been with us since I started with you, a great friend of the show. For those of you to jog your memory who Ron Walsek is, he's the guy who started getting the Greyhounds, the racers, the Greyhounds that were racing the track. He found them homes after their racing career. He was the one who started that. We're talking early 80s. He was doing that, finding homes for the Greyhounds, and he's just a great friend of the show and a great guy. Great to see you, Ronnie, my man. From a cash flow standpoint, 87% of the tickets and 98% of the cash is on Indiana State. 87 and 98, Pete. 74% of tickets are on the under. Look, I don't want to back the Utes out of Utah, but Indiana State seems very, very public. Take it away for us here, Pete. Utes Sycamores at Hinkle Fieldhouse.
Yeah, I hit the under. I didn't get 166. I did get 163.5 though. Just a modest play. Obviously, Indiana State can be a very big, explosive offensive team, and I bet their overs a lot this year. But this is still, a Final Four game, and they can be slowed down. It's not exactly sure what strategy each team will use here, so I could easily fly over. I bet the under. And at 162.5, I'd probably still hit it. Nothing crazy, but and again, if it flies over, not a shock. But we do have a postseason game. I think both these teams care about the NIT now, and so I think the under's all right.
And what did you get it at?
Well, I got it at 163.5. I didn't get 66 or anything like that. But so now it's 162.5. You know, I will. I don't know if I want to give that. I mean, Indiana State. I'll give it. What the hell? I'll give it 162.5. I'll take the. I'm sorry.
If I give you a free $500 bet on a side at 3.5, who do you move on?
You know, obviously Indiana is in their home state and Utah has their home road splits. But Utah is pretty clearly playing for real here. I would, at 3.5, I would get free bet. I would throw it on Utah. But, you know, of course, Indiana State could win by 10 or 5 or whatever, or 4. I throw it on Utah.
Under 162.5 for Pete.
Minus 108, current line Heritage.
Minus 108. Pete's on the board. We move on to the next spot on the board, and Rodney Barton gave us his look on Georgia plus 3.5. The NIT semis. This one popping off at 9:30 p.m. Eastern. We got Seton Hall out of that. I forget what the gym's called again. That 1,300 seat gym where they were playing electric basketball, not the Prudential Center. Prudential Center was busy. Seton Hall needed overtime to get through St. Joe's, took out North Texas, and then destroyed UNLV. That's one that really, really stuck with me. I put it out on a silver platter. UNLV had the one turnover of the game before, was shooting the lights out. I was like, this is going to change immediately. They're going to step off the plane in Orange, New Jersey, and start playing poor basketball. But I didn't follow the breakdown. I didn't bet it like a chump. For Georgia, they beat Xavier at home. Then they traveled to Wake Forest, beat them 72-66. Traveled to Ohio State, beat them 79-77. Is this a battle-tested team that's ready to roll here in the semis? So let's go into the line history here for this one. Matty Ice saying, Matty Ice, you didn't hear me move on Utah. I know how bad they are outside the state of Utah. I'm just saying that that public of a side for Indiana State, I just don't find appealing. I'd rather not make a bet than, be on a 95 or 96% side. That's just my own personal preference as to moving forward. It just doesn't appeal to me. Not that I think that anyone's on the wrong side backing Indiana State. Seton Hall opening up at -4. Now at 4.5. They've moved to 4.5. It says that it's back at 4. Let me just refresh this detail. It says it's back at 4, but I don't see that here. Let me just refresh it. No, -4.5 at -107 I have, but graphics telling me something a little different. And then from the total scenario here, we have a 145. Opened up a 144.5, so we have a half point move to the over. And when we get to the cash flow here, you have 55% of tickets on the under and no cash information. But on the spread, we have information. 37% of tickets and 46% of cash on Georgia. Pete, I wonder here, is Georgia become battle-tested on the road here while Seton Hall loved being in Orange, New Jersey in this 1,300-seat arena, where Patrick Ewing and Chris Mullen starred not as a Seton Hall Pirate, but is this a spot where you get Seton Hall out of that little arena, get them back out on the road, and things change fast?
I would, again, I didn't bet this one, and I don't think I'm going to, although live is definitely possible. But free play, I'd throw it on Georgia getting 4.5. But again, Seton Hall wins by 15 or 8 or 5. Wouldn't be surprised at all. Wouldn't bet it, but free play would throw it on Georgia. 5-0 in pro season ATS, Seton Hall, last 2 games are big margin covers, but their margins haven't been like Georgia, so.
Now, I can understand, Smoking Tree, Seton Hall, max bet. Nobody's playing better than Seton Hall and Utah.
Oh, they're great. Yes, motivated.
But now we take them out of their arenas where they're starring in, and it's the same reason why I thought UNLV was going to fall flat. And obviously I don't choose to ever go up against a Scotty Rock here, but I do find Georgia appealing. I really do. I find them appealing. I think Seton Hall is probably a better basketball team, but Georgia has just shown that they're battle tested. Now, the 3 straight games on the road has hurt teams. It's not easy playing 3 straight on the road. Okay, I'll have to spend more time. I'm interested in moving on Georgia in this spot. I do want to watch this market mature as the day goes on. Anything you want to make official here for college basketball, Pete, in the NIT?
Well, I already made the under, right, in the Indiana State game?
Yes, but here in Georgia at Seton Hall?
This one, no, although certainly live or at halftime, I'll be glancing for sure.
Okay, so we roll into NBA. It is now time to attack NBA here on Loshak and the Bag. We've got a lot of looks from our guy, Tone Miggins, which we'll be talking about throughout. Kongscliffe says, I'm going to give it out now. I will be on NC State plus 9.5. Also on Alabama first half plus 6.5. I will copy and paste that. And let's roll. Pete, you're going to be leading us here, and I will be breaking it down. So why don't you get us rolling here? We start with the Lake show at the Toronto Raptors.
Okay, Lakers and Raptors. You know, you tell me, Jim. Raps getting beat down every game, even at home. 1-8 ATS last 9. Not because they're too big of a fave, because they're not as big of a dog as they should be. All 9 of those games a dog. 6 of those games, that is bad, man. A bad team that's a big home dog losing game in and game out ATS. Holy shit. I don't know, man. Lakers blasted the Nets in their last game. They've been covering 5th game of a road trip. I don't know. If I wanted to be, counter, if I wanted to, go against the obvious play here and shock the world, maybe I'd take Toronto 12.5. Maybe that is the right play. I really don't know. Slightly into the over, and that's about it.
Well, this is a dangerous basketball game. RJ Barrett is coming back to play in his first game since his brother died. RJ Barrett and the Barrett family, the Rowan Barrett, his dad, I mean, they're all so important to Canadian basketball. It's hard to imagine this team not rallying around RJ Barrett. RJ Barrett will be out on the floor. Emmanuel quickly will be back out on the floor. So this is not the situation where you have, a team, the star player theory to me. This is very, very, very different. What we've seen at Pinnacle is this line's move towards the Lakers at half point. Do I want to get all... do I want to, kind of romanticize the situation of RJ coming back to this team that's lost 13 straight? And Kong's clip saying IQ back after losing his uncle. I mean, I just this changes the whole idea of what we've been watching from the Raptors. It changes everything. How much emotion are the Raptors going to show? When will it work for them? Will it show out early? Will it peter out? 52% of the tickets and 16% of the cash is on the Raptors. I mean, is that a situation you want to be in? No. 70% of the tickets are on the over. I guess I haven't figured this all out yet. I guess spreadsheet play today is in. It is the Arizona Diamondbacks from our Ron Crawford. Shout out to Ron Crawford.
Wow. Okay.
Spreadsheet play today is on the Buffalo Sabres. I'm on the Buffalo Sabres, so Ron and I rock together on that one. So back just to set this up here. Look, the Raptors have lost 13 straight, and they lost by 15 to a Sixers squad that was missing Maxey and Embiid. Gary Trent went for 23. Noor went for 19. Olnick and Bruce Brown are trying their hardest. Olnick had 11 assists on Sunday too. But, no Scotty Barnes, no Pirtle with the finger. And getting Barrett and quickly back is a huge deal. It's a huge, huge, huge deal. And Lakers have won 6 of 7. They're playing great basketball. I mean, this game means something to this group of men with RJ Barrett coming back. So what's the right way to bet it? I got to sit with it for longer. Pete, with you hearing that Barrett and Quickly are back in the lineup, and Barrett and Quickly coming with the death of his uncle, but Barrett coming off of his brother dying. I mean, how do you think? I mean, where does that take you? Does that just make you want to stay away from it? I mean, I tell you what, it does not want. There's nothing. There's no way I'm betting the Lakers here. So. And then do I want to cut the game down early? That's probably a way to do it. I mean, are Barrett and Quickly going to have their legs under them? I mean, do you only want them for 12 minutes? My
lean would be to the over, but now it's up to 233.5. I saw 231, so I'm gonna pass on that. I'd be leaning over though. The more I think about it, I guess.
Oh, I am interested in the Raptors, and maybe it's just the first quarter spot. Cover Kings liking the Raptors plus 12.5. Robert Franklin on Barrett over 19.5 points. So I guess I need more time, but I am going to figure this out, and I am going to bet this game. By figuring out, I don't mean I'm going to figure out a winner. I'm not. That doesn't exist. But I'm going to find an angle on this. I just need to sit with it. I need to hear them talk. I need to hear them. I just need to hear what the guys are saying with these two guys coming back into the room. So we don't need to wax on it anymore. But I expect to be on the Raptors early, and it could even be a first quarter, first half double up spot. Honestly. Okay, let's roll on. Pete, Bucks, Wizards next.
Bucks, Washington. Again, no real idea. A slight lean. Washington is the number, I guess, right? Milwaukee won and covered at Atlanta last game. Road fave, doing well ATS recently. Washington, 3 straight up home losses. So you got to think that they are going to come in here and try to do something. No idea at all, really. Slight lean under, slight lean Washington.
Bucks 3-2 over their past 5. They have not been.
Oh, but now, sorry. Now I just see 226. So yeah, I was right about that. I should have bet it. I saw 229. Now it's 226. So forget that.
Ricky Bobby, no, I didn't, but it is coming. Don't worry. The GFG is coming, and it will be. It's on its way. So don't worry. We have the Gamblers First Glance on its way. Here, game 2 of this card, Bucks Wizards. Wizards have slowed down their pace. It's amazing. The whole NBA slowed down their pace. Wizards 99.92 possessions a game over the last 5. That's 4th fastest in the NBA. Milwaukee 98.78 possessions. That's 7th fastest in the NBA. Colin Slip saying, I don't believe that Washington has the talent to keep up. The Bucks are trying to get right. They dropped those games back to back to the Lakers at home, and then the Pelicans on the road, and then they took out the Hawks, on Saturday in Atlanta. This is a pretty rested group. Giannis 36-16-8, Middleton 21-6 getting rolling, and Dame Lillard, who's been out for personal reasons, is now out with a right groin strain. So, Dame will not be in the lineup. He is out. And Middleton, Beverly, Giannis, all game time decisions. And I have Holmes as being out here in my notes, but he's day-to-day with the toe injury, Rashawn Holmes. So if Rashawn Holmes is out, then you need Bagley rolling. We know that Kyle Kuzma is out. Tyus Jones is out. This game is not appealing to me, but what I do understand is that the Bucks are trying still to get right despite Dame not being out there. Do I want a Wizards team that's led by Jordan Poole, Anthony Gill, and I like Gill and Abdia, but I don't find the Wizards appealing here with the Bucks coming off that win against Atlanta, having Sunday to travel and Monday off, and I don't want to take them at this number. So it's almost at 13.5 to 12.5. It feels like it's Wizards or no bet. And I don't find anything really appealing enough here to move on at this point, Pete. So I think we can just kind of roll on. Cody Norton liking the over in this spot. And spreadsheet play today, which we will discuss here in a second, is coming up. But I don't find this appealing, Pete. Bojack says Rivers 2-0 with the Bucks against Southeast Division on the road in his coaching career. Ricky Bobby looking at taking the Bobby Portis props. Astute Chaos saying with the Wiz they could come out and lay a dud. The Bucks have been defending early, but still scoring. Yeah, I don't find this. And BJ saying this is a Bucks smash spot, Jim. I would lean in that direction, but I don't want this many points here, but I do expect with the extra day off that they're going to run, and maybe it's a chance to back them early, but this is too many points for me for a first quarter action, so I'm off the spot, Pete.
Okay, let's move on. OKC Philly.
Yep.
All right, OKC, pretty damn good, right? But right now, not doing that well. ATS recently kind of 50-50, but before that, they were not covering. Bunch of overs in a row for them. Philly now back home, 6 of the last 7 on the road, and they were losing those games straight up, but winning them. ATS 3 straight overs for them. So Philly has a home dog, and they've been covering recently. And Philly, Tyrese Maxey has been out. I mean, he's listed as questionable here, so I'm thinking that I'm not sure if he's going to be in or what.
He was in
again. I don't know. I guess my gut tells me OKC first half, but I didn't bet it. And my lean would be OKC first half.
Maxey was in the shoot around. Shea was not.
Okay.
So I think it's, especially looking at the line move. This line move at Pinnacle has already gone from OKC -5.5 to OKC -2.5. So I think from that 3-point move, I think we can say that Maxey is going to play, which I'm surprised at. Astute saying the same, and Shea is not going to play. And Philly's pace right now, 30th in the league, very, very slow, 92.4 possessions a game over the last 5 games. Johnny Gunn's going under. Robert Franklin already moved on OKC -5.5, and then OKC playing 8th fastest pace in the league here. So we've seen the 3-point move that, was all about the shoot around. That note about the shoot around came at what time? Oh, they're not giving me the exact time, but just came in that Maxey was there and Shea was not. So then from a total side of things here, we have the 221.5 -111 to the under. This opened at 225.5. Again, this is all player personnel related rather than cash flow related or bet related. From a cash flow perspective, though, we were given no money line information no spread cash information in that Bucks Wizards spot. We do know that the money's on the over. In this one, you have 84% of the tickets and 74% of the cash on OKC, without Shea and going up against Sixers team that will have Maxey back. 74% of tickets on the under. So it's possible. They're saying that Embiid possibly plays Thursday in Miami. It's a possibility that we got to keep our ear to the streets about. They're 14-27 without Embiid this year, 26-8 with him. So Maxey missed a Toronto game with left hip tightness. Looks like it. I guess it was a rest day, really. So the Thunder are playing great ball. They won back-to-back. They've won 10 of the last 13. This is the second game in a 5-game road trip, so it doesn't feel like they're exhausted. But they just won 113-112 at MSG, and I think this will be a trickier situation. BJ saying no Jalen Williams as well. Jalen Williams is out. I don't see why the Sixers wouldn't be appealing here, honestly. After the now, it's not a fun thing betting against the Thunder, but I find the Sixers appealing here. Maxey coming back, a rested team here. I mean, why the Thunder coming off winning at Madison Square Garden? What do you think, Pete? Would you feel like the Sixers are appealing in this spot?
Seward Davis Pick says, I'm in love with OKC in this spot, taking them with the points and think they Hormel clearing the Sixers even at home. I mean, that's what I was leaning. Now, of course, the injuries and the line moves. I'm not sure what Brent Cook likes the Sixers. BJ says Sixers are nothing. I guess I'm going to pass, but I was leaning OKC first half at the very least.
I could have got a 4.5 2 hours ago. I guess at that point we didn't know that Maxey was going to be in and Shea was going to be out. I mean, we thought Shea was going to be out, but we didn't realize Maxey was going to be in. I don't know. Is 2.5 points enough? At this point, I'm interested in the Sixers, but and I think the window is a very, very real possibility for me on the Sixers here. I really do. So we'll take a little bit more time, but let's roll into the next spot. We don't have time to hum and haw. We're 3 hours.
Okay, next game, Knicks, Miami. Knicks last 2 games a little iffy, but before that, of course, winning and covering, straight up, ATS, all that, and going over recently. Before that, they were a strong under-trender. Miami off a couple of margin straight-up wins. And sort of last 4 games, 3 margin straight up wins, 1 margin straight up loss. Knicks a little bit banged up in the front court, so it's a very low total as expected. Miami a small home favorite, and I apologize once again. Not really sure. Maybe lean Miami. I don't know. What do you think?
Well, the Knicks are coming in trying to sweep this season series, and these two teams, they don't like each other. I don't think that the Heat are going to sit back and just let this undermanned Knicks team come in and take care of business. Now, the Heat are banged up too. You got Rozier, Robinson, and Jovic all game time decisions, but Jimmy and Bam are ready to go. I mean, what else do you need? We just had Josh Hart come out and say that they're going to just move forward as if Anunoby and Randall aren't coming back. I'm not entirely sure what that does to galvanize the two. It could be galvanized. It could be him saying, look, we have enough in this room right now, or it could piss off these two guys who are trying so hard to come back. I don't have the answer to that. This total is at 206.5. This opened up at 207.5 with a 1 point move to the under. Knicks are playing at the 22nd fastest pace, Miami 15th fastest pace, but this is slow. 95.61 possessions game for the Knicks and 96.5 for these Heat. Both teams 3-2 over their past 5. So back-to-back losses at San Antonio and home against Oklahoma City. So they lose these games by 5 points. Now, I was on the Spurs Friday night, +9. I gave it out on the show. And I told Troy, I was like, this is my favorite spot on the board. And they went outright. But the season sweep here is and then we have Mitchell Robinson. There's no way he's out there. He's re-injured his ankle. So I don't see him being there. So let's just take a look at the line history here from this perspective. The Miami Heat -3 at -112. They opened up at -3 at -102. We've had a 10-cent move towards the Miami Heat. And then from a cash flow perspective, we have 43% of the tickets on them. We don't know the cash flow. 43% of the tickets. Yeah, oh shit, sorry, I hit my mic there, or my camera. I don't think that this is a spot here where I'm sitting back saying, oh, this is a bounce back for the Knicks. They're going to bounce back. I see the Knicks just trying to get to the finish line. Whereas the Heat here don't want the Knicks to sweep the season series, and they want to build some momentum, and Jimmy and Bam are healthy. The fact that there's a high percentage of tickets, I wish I could get the cash flow, but I don't see why the Heat wouldn't be on our card. I really don't.
That was my lean. It's now up to 3. I saw 2.5 when it opened. Now it's up to 3.
I'm going to be on the Miami Heat here at home. Now, again, you want Scary Terry in the lineup, but if I know Jimmy and Bam are going to be in there, I do not think that he want to be swept, and I don't need to repeat that. So I'm going to. I wish we got cash flow information, but just seeing that 43% of the tickets is enough for me. I'm going to be on the Miami Heat here. Let's roll on.
Okay, I might join you, Jimmy the Bag, because I'm not going to go through this whole card without at least one official play. But as of right now, let's move on. Houston, Minnesota. Okay.
Let's do it.
All right, big game for both of these, and both off of losses, right? So I was thinking that means D, under 217. I haven't checked, but I'm assuming it's lower. Houston, 2 straight margin ATS losses, and before that, of course, they've been rolling ATS, covering game in and game out. So, Minnesota, of course, off a straight-up loss as a big fade. Before that, they had been covering. They had been going under. It was a big spread here, low total, but I was thinking that 217 probably was a good bet on the over, and I probably missed it. Let's check the line, and it is 215.5 juice to the under. So there you go. I think probably under is okay again. It's a big game for both these teams.
A big game for both these teams. As you said, both coming off of basically home disasters that snapped the winning streaks. That 125-107 loss versus Dallas was a big kind of a slap in the face. I mean, it wasn't the easiest of spots that they were coming back from that great comeback victory against Utah. And shout out to Mikey Money, who was adamant about getting on the Rockets money line live when they were down. So let's talk about the total first here in this spot. We're sitting at 215.5. Pistol was talking about it. This opened up at Pinnacle this morning at 216, but for the books that came out last night, it was a much better number. And then from a spread perspective, we have it, juiced towards the Rockets. Now this opened up with the Rockets +8. They're now +7.5, and it's juiced. So this line's going down. I understand that they got embarrassed, but the public is on the Rockets, 77% of the tickets. I don't find them ever appealing on the road, ever. And Sengun out, they're comfortable with that. It's opened up a lot of space in the paint for the Rockets. And then with the Wolves, we have Cat out, but everybody else ready to go. Both teams are going to bounce back, and I would like to be against the public here, but the market is, paying due attention to where the public is, and the public backing the Rockets. They've moved it from 8, and it's going to be a 7 any minute. Coin says, do we get regression off that long Houston win streak recently? Big game with the Warriors later this week. And BJ back in that Heat spot, by the way, Peter. I don't pull that says sees more points in 2015. Justin McKelvey on the Timberwolves -7.5. I think this is a really sharp line. I think it's going to be right around that number. And I just, from a bounce back perspective from both of these spots, I think it's just too sharp. I guess I feel like I think it's too sharp. I don't feel like I have an advantage here, Pete.
Well, Troy Torrance and C-Word Davis picks both really liking the T-Wolves tonight. And maybe first half might be great. And Justin McElvey liking the T-Wolves. Ross Pitts likes Houston. Coin likes T-Wolves. But Troy making a great point. C-Word Davis picks. Not really making a good point, but a great comment nonetheless. I think that Minnesota, at least first half, might be a good play here.
Troy Torrance saying Rockets performed terribly versus top 10 defenses, 1-7 against the spread.
T-Word Davis pick saying T-Wolves would be like having a can of cheese whiz, squirting yourself in the face with it. So those are two different perspectives, both liking the T-Wolves.
Very
different. Extremely different.
Who is more appealing in a bounce back spot? The Wolves in the target center are much, much more appealing than expecting the Rockets to play great on the road. I mean, that's just much, much, much more appealing. So then the more we talk about it, the more appealing the Wolves get. In saying that, where is the floor of this line move towards the Rockets? Because I certainly don't want to get into it when I see it juiced at the 7.5, where it looks like a 7 is coming. I want to know that the public is on the Rockets. So yes, okay. How about this? I'm very interested now in the Timberwolves first half and full game, but I'm not going to bet this after the show is over. I want to see when does it stop moving towards the Rockets. So that yes, I agree with the takes from our cappers in the chat. I agree.
All right, when we have Troy Torrance saying what he's saying and C-Word pick saying what he's saying, I'm going to take it. I'm going to take Minnesota first half. I'm going to take it -4, -104 current line at Heritage. T-Wolves first half -4, -104 current line Heritage.
-4, -104?
Yeah, first half. Yes.
All right. I'm interested. We'll continue discussing that, but let's roll on. In the meantime, we hit Ball Arena in Denver, Colorado.
Yeah, Spurs lost to Golden State last game, but they're covering. They covered 4 in a row. 14-6 ATS last 23 straight overs, and Denver, of course, blasted Cleveland last game, but they are not covering. And I don't know, man. I mean, Denver, of course, has their sights on whatever they got their sights on. The Spurs, we know what they're doing right now. They have some injuries, but they got some guys playing, and 16 seems too much for me just because of motivational factors. I haven't bet the Spurs, but 16 seems too much. I'm guessing that the market is still at 16, and yes, it is still solid. Juice to Denver, and the total hasn't moved much either. Definitely right now, before I hear what you guys have to say, would be Spurs or nothing at this line. Maybe Spurs first half. Go ahead.
I don't think the Nuggets care about the number 1 seed. I don't think they care. I think the key is to get Jamal Murray healthy. Get everybody healthy, get everybody coming into the playoffs healthy. I think that's the key. So in saying that, I'd be shocked if Murray's back in today. When they are in, I'd be shocked to see them carrying. And then this number -15 after -16 is shocking as well. Kong's Clip says Denver is my favorite team, but this is too many points. Ross Pitt says, is Jamal Murray playing? The most recent update Oh, sorry, that's KCP. The most recent update for Jamal is, not going to be helpful. Questionable to go, but I just don't see him. Why would you, if this is a knee injury, why would you want him out there at all? So, look, Jokic coming off 26, 18, and 16. I mean, he's an absolute monster. And, the Spurs, Vassell's done for the year. Shohan done for the year. We know that. Keldon Johnson not expected to play. I wonder if that's changed at all. It's not. So why is this number so ridiculously big? I mean, why
is it so big?
Yeah, why 16? You have 90% of tickets and 86% of the cash on the Spurs, and it keeps moving towards the Nuggets. I mean,
if you got a crappy team on the road, maybe they're just like, all right, we'll save our shockingly good or shockingly non-shitty performances for our home games.
Our guy Rod Zawacki in the house, great to see you, my man. Says Spurs are covering 4 straight. He'll take the 16. Look, I love the 9 against the Knicks. Something just feels off here. It just feels off, and maybe 16 is a gift, but just don't trust books. I just, I don't trust the situation, and I don't find it appealing. Look, this makes no sense. When the line makes no sense, some of you guys have the confidence to hammer it. When the line makes no sense to me, it makes me very uncomfortable. My guy Nordy in the house. What up, Nordy? So, and Troy giving it, and Brent Cook saying Spurs plus 16 probably won't bet it. Look, I get it. I understand it, and I understand why that would be appealing. But when the books drop something that's appealing, it scares the shit out of me. So I just don't want to be involved. Let's roll on.
Okay, next game. Huge shout out to Troy, motherfucking Torrance. All right, next game, Cleveland, Utah. Utah, big home dog. Cavs got blasted at Denver last game. They have not been covering. 1-6 ATS last 7, 5 straight overs. Utah got beat down at Sacramento last game. They have been shitty ATS as well. Cavs are in the playoff hunt. Utah is just playing out the string. So you have a home dog playing out the string. Cavs in the playoff hunt. Huge line. I think I like Utah here, even though they've been bad ATS. They seem like they're fighting. I know Cleveland's off a bad loss, so I don't love that, but I think Utah would be my play here at 11.5, and I'm guessing that, I don't know where the line ended. Right now, it is off the board. Is that line there?
It's because Spider is out. Let me refresh. Yes, no, I've got it out already. I got Spider out. Let me just check the board here.
All right, now that's down to 9.5. I Utah first half full game is what my leans are. Not sure I want to make it official.
Cheshire saying is Markkanen in. Markkanen is out, and so is Collins. So Kessler getting run. So it's Hendricks at the 4 and Kessler at the 5. Sexton
now it's 10.
Clarkson out as well. Garland, Leverts, Drews, Mobley, and Jared Allen. So look, what team is going to bounce back here in this situation? Like the Cavaliers have lost 5 of 7. They just lost by 29 at Denver. I mean, are they just going to show nothing? Like I mean, I don't know what's going on with Bickerstaff in this Cavs team. It's very confusing, and I'm thankful. I'm thankful because Dan Kelly got me on at the All-Star break the Bucks to win the Central plus 275. I'm extremely thankful. Dan Kelly says Sexton playing versus old team. Now that's a great line from Dan Kelly. Rick J saying Sexton been trying to score more, but Sexton playing against his old team. Now we know that Sexton cares, but Dan, are we supposed to sit here and think that the Cavaliers are going to show no heart in this spot? I find it difficult. Yes, the Jazz at this number is appealing. Rod Zawacki saying Jazz 0-13 versus teams with winning record. I don't know how to. And Troy Torrance says nobody cares more than Sexton low key. So, maybe it's just a Sexton prop, or maybe they're going to try to beat Sexton because they didn't like him. I mean, I feel like it's a guessing game now. Which team is going to show heart? Which team is going to bounce back? Dan Kelly says they show more heart without Mitchell than with him. This game makes me extremely uncomfortable. I don't feel like there's an edge that that I can trust. I don't. So I don't want to put my money on either of these teams because either of these teams can bounce back and show heart here. I'm this doesn't make me comfortable. I'd prefer to move on.
I'll take a little shot, Jim. I'll throw on Utah first half. Utah first half +6, -107. Current line Pinnacle.
We have Jazz first half +6, and what was the juice?
-107. Current line Pinnacle.
-107 for Loshak. All right, let's roll on. We got 2 games left on this monster card. These are games 32 and 33 that we will be capping today. We have Clippers Kings. Take it away, Pete.
Clippers won 3 in a row straight up current trip, but they're not covering those games, and in general they've been overvalued last 3 weeks or so. Also going over recently, Sacramento off of the blowout home win and cover as a double-digit fave, but they have not been that great ATS recently as well, and they've been going under. This is a game that means a lot for the playoffs. So again, because of that, maybe lean under, and definitely maybe lean live or halftime bet. But I think that the Clippers are probably going to be trying to establish a defensive identity. Might be leaning under, and as far as spread is concerned, nothing but with an eye towards a live bet or a halftime bet. But leaning under 222.5 is what I saw, and now it is. Where is it now? Clippers game. Clip is 220.5. All right, so it's dropped a couple points. Yeah, I'd be leaning under. And the Kings now, big favorite. Yeah, Kings now favored by 2.
It's funny because this is a terrible, the way I cap, this is a terrible situation for Sacramento. They fly to New York tomorrow. They're in Madison Square Garden on Thursday. I really don't like that from Now we know that the claw's out, Kawhi's out, and that's why this line's moved so heavily. Malik Monk out for the Sacramento Kings, but I talk about it nonstop in basketball and in hockey. That 4th game of a 5-game homestand, that 5th game of 6 game is a sweet spot. And what did they do in that 4th game of 5? They beat the Jazz by 21 points. Now they play the Clippers at home without Claw, and Rick J says tomorrow's a bad spot. Tomorrow's a horrific spot. Flying across to New York or whatever. But I find when teams are about to fly across the country, there's shit on their mind. There's things on their mind. Like I just don't find this is a focused situation for the Sacramento Kings. Both teams playing very slow pace. The slowest they played all year. The Clippers over the last 5 games playing at 93.1 possessions game. That's 28th in the league over that stretch. Kings 94.60. That's 24th in the league here. We've seen this, line move, big line move. And they're now 1.5 point favorites. I guess what's happening is the Clippers are becoming more and more appealing. I want this move to settle, but I think without the claw. So first off, let's go back to our guy who gave us his best bets. Let me just grab it here. I don't know where I copied and pasted it, but I knew it was important. The Levels play of the day, because he's all over this. Levels play of the day. God, I'm gonna have to find it here, and I will find it. But he's all over the PG-13 props in this one. Clearly expecting this to be a spot where the claw was out, and that's what's come to fruition. God, I can't find it. I got too many pages. No, so Tone is on PG over 21.5 for 2 units. He's on the Clippers money line at -136. Obviously, that's flipped now, but I think that they're going to. Right now, 38% of tickets and 85% of cash on the Clippers. We've seen this big market move based solely on player personnel. I think the Clippers are the spot here. I like fading teams on the final game of a homestand, especially when they're flying to New York the following morning. I think this is a real tricky spot here for these Sacramento Kings, and I'm really more than willing to put my money on it here. So it's Paul George Day, and I find it appealing. So let me just take one last look here at how and this would just be a simple full game spot. Dan Kelly says Malik Monk is a huge loss for the Kings. Astute Chaos leaning under. And BJ saying Clippers game matters more for seeding. Yeah, no, I know They're right there. Now with the Phoenix win yesterday, the Kings are just a half game back. But I mean, is this the way the Clippers are going to finish off this road trip? Get the sweep, come on home. I think there's a lot there for the Clippers to fire away. I'm very interested in the Clippers, but I'm gonna wait for this to end. But I expect to be on the Clippers without Kawhi here, Pete.
Okay.
By the way,
I'm going to pass.
Stimmy OG big on the Bucks Wizards over 227. Brent Cook also on the Clippers. And Dan Kelly says he got on the Chicago Bulls to make the playoffs at plus 500 this morning. We'll hedge that bet twice unless he's really unlucky. Should have a guaranteed winner there from our guy and Kelly. Rick J saying King's best defender will be on PG. Should be a good one. This will be a lot of fun. And Chase J says someone's getting blown out in this game and it ain't the Kings. So, Chase J thinking that this breakdown of mine is very wrong and that the Clippers are going to get destroyed without Kawhi on the final game of their 5-game road trip with the flight to New York in the morning. That's the fun of this, Chase, is that, we don't have to agree. We just want to have all the information out. So that's the fun of this. Let's get into our final spot on the board, Pete, and let me start it because we have 2 spots here. First off, we have the Gambler's first glance on the Dallas Mavericks. Then we add to that with a spreadsheet play today on the Dallas Mavericks. Now get us rolling, my man.
Yeah, I mean, it's interesting that you say that because this wasn't one of my plays of the day, but this was definitely my what the fuck line of the day, right? Dallas rolling straight up, covering, right? Game in and game out. Golden State, they had a nice little trip, but they returned now, and Dallas is a dog. I didn't get it. I was like, obviously Dallas is the play, but also obviously something's going on here that I don't know about, and the people who do know about it are the ones who are making all the all the money. I don't know the line doesn't make any sense to me, Jim. But obviously, 2 people that we respect tremendously are happy to pull the trigger on it. The line, how is Dallas a dog here?
I don't know. It's the Malinsky spot too, with the Warriors coming back from this big trip. This is also sort of the Clippers spot where it's the last game of the road trip. You have a chance to sweep the road trip. BJ saying this line's way too short. Stimmy OG's on the under. Troy Torrance also on Dallas Mavericks. That's important. BJ says public will be on Dallas. I think Golden State wins here. I guess I need to sit with this for longer. I mean, the Mavs in the throes of this 7-game win streak, the last 4 have come on the road. 5 of the 7 have come on the road. And one of those home games was defeating the Nuggets at home, 107-105. So, I mean, this is just a locked-in basketball team. And the Warriors, it's not easy coming back from the road. And remember, we talk about coming back from the road. Now, this isn't a cross-America trip, but they're just flying in from San Antonio, which was not much. But there was not the extra day. We talk about it not affecting teams as much if they fly back and then the next day's off or optional, and then they play. They flew back yesterday, and now they have the Mavericks waiting for them. I mean, this is a real fascinating situation with our our best cappers on the side with the Mavericks. 60% of the tickets are here on the Warriors. Joshua Chipman says, line's weird. I don't care. Dallas so damn hot. Warriors a little banged up. Warriors first game home. No thanks. Yes, this is Mavericks or pass. And then we need to know, is Thompson going to be in? Is Kuminga going to be in? Thompson is probable. So let's just say, so Thompson is in. And then Kuminga right now, questionable. He's missed, 3 straight games. He's got the knee tendonitis. So, I mean, let's say that Kuminga's out and Thompson's in. And then Lively was not at shoot around, so Lively's going to be out. I mean, I don't think that's a huge problem, but it's not helpful. BJ says, I'll fade all you guys. Golden State Warriors wins tonight. Dan Kelly says, I'm going to pull out my spreadsheet to see the results when a team is coming home off a 4-game road trip and they won all 4 of those games. He said that doesn't happen often. Well, I'm going to need Robert Franklin on Mavs money line. I'm going to need more time on this, but I'm going to be the opposite of BJ. I'm going to be Mavericks or nothing in this spot. Very, very, very interesting. Steve,
My other note was lean
out.
under. That was 234.5. Now it's down to 232. So maybe I would be looking that way.
This one's going to need to marinate. I'm gonna have to.
This is a weird one.
Well, and then we have all our, BJ on the other side of these plays of the day. I'm gonna need to sit with this one. Brent Cook also on the Mavs. So let's review all NBA and put a bow on Loshak in the bag here for Tuesday, April 2nd. Remember, these are the 2 toughest weeks of the year for us because MLB's back before playoffs in NHL and NBA, and these, it's going to get easier. It's going to get easier. I want to back the Raptors, and maybe it's just the first quarter bet. I've got to sit with this Raptors spot, sit with RJ Barrett being back. I got to sit with it. IQ going to be back. I got to sit with it. Bucks, Wizards, we stayed off. And Stimmy, what was Stimmy's big move? Stimmy, can you hit me with that? Because you were all over that one. Oh, yes. He's big on the over 227. Stimmy big on the over 227 here in the Bucks, Wizards spot. I guess it'll be Raptors first quarter, I guess, for me. Then I'm interested in the Sixers. Again, I want to sit with this a little longer. I'm going to bet the Heat as soon as I can. The T-Wolves is another spot. I want to see if it gets down to 7. I want to sit with that a little longer. Pete moved on the Wolves first half -4, -104. Even though it's not a real confident spot, this is a spot where I would want to have a piece of both the first half and the full game. Spurs, Nuggets, we have no action. Loshak's on the Jazz first half at +6. Troy Torrance is on the Mavs and the under, and he's on the T-Wolves -7. I plan to be on the Clippers here. Now, what Chase J said, with a ton of conviction, I probably should sit with it a little longer. One of the things I do have is I got to go pick up Ella from school, which means I won't be able to bet any of these for about 35 minutes, which will allow, except the Heat. I might just bet the Heat right now to make sure that is in. And BJ saying this line is begging for Dallas Mavs money in his opinion. I'm gonna have to spend some time on that. Jay Peasy says send your bars Jay Peasy's way. Pistol Pete, if you want to add to our
bars.
Yeah, to our intro. If you want to add to our intro.
It's fucking embarrassing. I mean, they suck. I just want to get a little feedback on it. I'm not gonna.
But BJ, do you not think the Warriors are hot? What did you think of this 4-game road winning streak by the Warriors? I mean, is it? Yes, the Mavericks are hotter, but it's not like So then, I need more time to sit with this Mavs Warriors spot, and I will do that. Let's go over all MLB, NHL, and NCAA basketball, and put a bow on this. And Mikey Money loving Golden State tonight. Wow. So Joe T gave us Milwaukee first 5 in full game, and the Blackhawks Islanders first period over 1.5. Justin McKelvey stacks play today. Rose Arena over 1.5 bases at +112. Razor Sharp picks Gamblers first glance. Dallas +1. Viper MB gave us a Cubs -1, Florida puck line, and Flames puck line. The Dapper Capper gave us Indiana State -3. Lamont Williams gave us Tampa Bay run line and a parlay, Tampa Bay money line, Miami money line, and Cubs money line. Jay Smooth balls play today, Mets run line +168. And Kelly McInnes says 3-game parlay, even money or plus on all of them, Texas, Detroit, and Cleveland. The friends and family, Jose gave Cardinals, Loshak gave Flames, and I gave the Predators. Then in NHL, I'm on the Sabres, so I'm going heads up with the Grandma's Wearing Your Sister's Panties play today again, or Grandma's Wearing Your Sister's Panties again play today from Mikey Money, who's on the Capitals. I'm on the Sabres. We're going heads up. We're going to war. Then we have the under 6. Did you move on the under 6 in Florida? Oh, yes, because you grabbed all your hockey stuff. So you moved on the under 6 after the breakdown, which I'm interested in. DC Capper on Dallas. And Chase saying your angle's wrong at all on the Clippers and don't change because of me. Jason, but he says do not fade Dallas just because of a fishy line that's bogus. Dallas is hot. Warriors are liable to miss the playoffs. JP's going to look at Predators and Clippers, but he's on the Red Sox and the Braves. Penguins and Devils. Well, I'm going to let Pete finish with his NHL because I didn't copy it all down because he's got player props involved. So for me, I only have the 2 spots. I have the Predators and I have the Sabres. And I'm very comfortable going to war with these 2 spots. The question is, do I add the under 6 with Florida Montreal, which I'm, sort of on? I don't know if I do. Then in MLB, Loshak's on the Twins, first 5 -105. Wine Time's on the under 8.5 in Kansas City, Baltimore. BJ's best bet of days in Miami Marlins. Pete's on the Reds, first 5 +119, first 3 under 2.5 at -119. Jose is Loshak's on the Rays first 3 at -135. I'm on the first 5 under 4.5 in Detroit, New York Mets. I hope the game goes. I love the bet. I'm on the White Sox first 3. I had a litany of cappers against me. And then Rockies, Cubs stayed off. Loshak's on the Jays first 5 +138. And the waffle is Jose J's full game. TJ's first gift of the season is Boston -1. Jose went on the A's team total over 3.5. Loshak's on the Mariners first 5 team total under 1.5 +114. And Cleveland first 3 +0.5 -190. Jose's on the first 5 under 4 at -115. I wonder if Bieber just needs to be backed here. I got to spend a little bit more time with the Guardians situation, and that would be early if I backed the Guardians. Then we talked about the over. TJ ended up getting me off of it in Yankees, Diamondbacks, but the Matty Ice Taint play today's the Diamondbacks. The spreadsheet play today's Diamondbacks. Pete's on the Diamondbacks team total over 4 -133. And Yankees for Jose. Yankees money line +104. Then Jose's on the Cards at +122. Rick J saying Dub's always dangerous after an L. Well, that means they will be dangerous. I guess they won 4 straight, so that is not important here in this situation. Jose's on the Cards at +122 full game. I'm interested in joining him, and I expect to bet the Giants first 5 as soon as I'm back. And then Pete's on the under 162.5 in the Utah-Indiana State game. And I have interest in Georgia, but want a little bit more time. I know a lot of these spots here that I do want a little bit more time, and I want the market to come to fruition, but the stakes are just so high here. I just really want to be against the spread. I feel you, Rick J. My bad. I just need some time for the markets to mature a little bit. Pistol Pete, my friend, can you let everybody know your NHL action and then give a shout out to our great friends in the chat?
All right, so I got a bunch of props that I put on as well. Tage Thompson point -175, which I think that is probably pretty good. If they win that game and come to play, he's very likely to get a point. Pacioretty under shots on goal 2.5 -181. Don't tail that, but I added it on. Florida Montreal capping Jimmy the Bag, not the game, capping Jimmy the Bag's cap of the game under 6 -115. I'll take it. Evgeny Malkin under 2.5 -208. If I lose that, I'm still going to be way up on the year betting Malkin under props. But that's a big favorite line. But hit it again. Malkin under 2.5 -208. Timo Meyer to be productive in a big game point -175 and goal +159. Connor Bedard to continue playing well. Shots over 3.5 +109 and to get an assist +115 and the Blackhawks first period money line +164. Nashville -1 +166. Can't not take that. Eriksson Ek under 3.5 shots -180. Again, don't tail that one, but I've had a pretty good read on his shot props, I think. Calgary -1 -153. That could lose, but I can't not take it. And that's it for NHL for me.
Pistol Pete, this was a marathon. It was hard work. I do enjoy it, but it's very, very hard couple weeks here. Jay Peasy, a DC capper on Indiana State over 163 and Georgia under 144.5. Al Cervic, Rez Mob, Billy Friedrich, Mikey Money, Rick J, BJ, C Davis Picks, Steve G, Fanatical Jim, Old E Coin, Justin McKelvey, Chase J, Bo Jackson, Leonard Porsche Jr., Dan Kelly, Robert Franklin, all of you guys, Joshua Chipman, Astute Chaos, Viper MB, Saturated, Christopher Tatum, Joey Marinaccio, the Dapper Capper, Stimmy OG, all of you guys, Brent Cook. We've got nothing without you guys. It's the chat that makes this show special, and we thank you from the bottom of our heart for supporting the show and leading us forward through this very difficult time where the opportunity to make cash is ever present with these cards. Saturated says Pete is way too sexy for this show. Jose, you want to come in here as we say good night to everybody or good day to everybody? Jose, great job on MLB. Jose and I will be hammering it again tomorrow. To all of you here in the chat, thank you from Jeff Slaughter and from all of us here at Pub Sports Radio. Jose, can you please let's us into the future, my friend?
Sure. Sure. It was nice seeing everyone as always. Pete, you look great today. What are you about to go do, Pete?
What?
What are you about to go do? You about to go take the town in that outfit today?
Lots of that. Make sure the money isn't short. That's number one. And then if you want to get some pizza, probably maybe get some lentil soup or something like that. Get some extra bets in that I haven't bet yet, but that I want to. A free play parlay that I'm gonna use a bunch of the bets. A whole bunch of stuff I need to do.
Choke and jerk.
Probably that too. Yeah, I can imagine all that too. But thanks everyone for watching. Billy, Bo, Sly, all you guys, Jay Peasy. Shout out to you, my guy. Nice.
I gotta run. I gotta pick up Ella.
Bye, guys.
Get that
Let
cash.
Jay.